It is Around the Mage Table, the podcast for the rest of us. This is episode 36. We are welcoming back this week Ayaski. How are you doing today?
Oh, good. How are you?
Were you about to cut me off? That was very rude of you. Technique has promised us that he wants to return. All right. So Ayaski, we appreciate you filling in. We, of course, will love to have you back soon. But Technique is clamoring for a seat back. And his fans are literally threatening to take the Capitol building if we don't let them.
Oh my!
So there you go, Scrap. That's our just slightly political thing for the week.
You gotta get the girls fighting in the comments. So.
Scrap Claw, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Doing really good.
Good. And Shawnee, of course, last but certainly not least. Number one in your programs,
buddy?
number one in your hearts. Shawnee, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's another great week.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a little mini trial again this week. There's some more drama. Scrap said there's no possibility that there's something as big as what happened in our last episode.
Definitely not.
Arguably, there might be, because there was money attached to this. But we are going to jump straight in to, give me a second, the big news of the week.
Oh?
Guys, I've got some bad news.
Oh, no, not the asteroid.
There's
I
an
don't know about
asteroid.
this one.
There's an asteroid that is classified as a class 3, I think is what they label it. It has a 1% chance of hitting Earth in December 22nd, 2032.
Oh.
So
that's a good long time.
That's what, 7 years? So I've got a question for y'all.
Yeah.
What's the last Mythic Plus dungeon you want to run before the asteroid destroys us?
Oh.
Wailing
Caverns. By 2032, they'll have done it.
That's a tough one.
That's a question of the week.
Play the fucking game.
Like Necrotic Wake. I love Necrotic Wake.
We can play Necrotic Wake right now if you wanted to, and you're not gonna play
and
it.
I have. Usually when someone's like, I got Necrotic Wake, I'm like, oh, I'll go. But yeah, no, that would probably be. It's probably my favorite dungeon.
Okay.
Ugh.
Ayaski? We haven't heard takes from you, Ayaski, on your
maybe
favorite dungeons, so
maybe something nice and quick like a Dark Heart Thicket or Ruby Life Pools.
Dark Heart Thicket.
It's not
What is last
quick.
for your Dark Heart Thicket? That's a suck ass one.
That's I've been doing it in the time walking last week, and it was the easiest one to do. So I think I just have a fondness for it because I got excited every time I got it.
In Dragonflight, it was Mythic Plus, right? Did you do it then?
Yeah, season 3. Yeah.
Oh God.
I liked it.
All joking aside, we will hopefully survive.
No, Frank, what's your pick?
Oh, quick. I don't know. Fuck, man.
Okay, you can't pose a question without knowing your own
I know.
answer.
I didn't even think about it. I'm gonna say one of the Dawn of the Infinites. I don't know.
Oh,
Either
why
one.
not both? Get that bright light out of my face.
Okay, so TGP. What? Yeah, the TGP is this weekend.
TGP.
Okay, great push. I was looking at this, and I have a question for y'all. So here's the top 16 teams get accepted. Okay, so here's a list of the top 16 teams. Okay, here's their scores. Okay, first question to all of you is, all right. So you remember, Scrap, how we had to do this, Sean? We had to do this. We had to do 2 dungeons and score the best you could on those 2 dungeons.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
What do you think, given we get to choose all our gear, and if we really set our mind to it, what do you think our highest score on those 2? It's not Cavern, City of Threads and Mists. What do you think our highest score we could possibly achieve on those? And I asked
12s.
I've already done 13, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Frank, we already have perfect gear, and we get so we're timing. So
yes, but imagine we set our mind to it.
Question.
No, I always set my mind to it.
No, you don't.
We'll see about that when we look at our next add-on feature, but we'll get to that.
Oh God.
Are we running like a meta comp, or are we playing what we play?
No, we play what we play. Or I'd say we
Okay.
play. Maybe you choose a meta, but we play what we play best, right? So I wouldn't play Ret Paladin, and Shawnee would, of course. But I'm saying, if he wasn't here, I wouldn't play it because it's Ret or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd play what I know I could succeed better at.
Yeah, I think we'd be stuck at 12.
I'd say 13, maybe a 14. If we ninja mind it, people actually listen to what I told you.
I'm sorry, Court of Threads?
I think 14
City of Threads,
too.
City of Threads.
I'd say 13.
So
13's my 14
Yeah,
maybe.
I'd say 14 too. We've already kind of almost done some 13s at not our best. So I feel like 14 is would probably kind of start to be the limit, especially if we're playing what we play and not going into some kind of meta composition.
I think 14s is a bar that is reasonable for us to achieve if we really set our minds to it. Okay. So
if we just kept starting the dungeon over and over again, right? Because that's what you can do. You just try to get the highest.
Yeah.
I think if we did City of Threads 18 times in a row, we might be able to time a 14.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we'll say 14s, okay? We'll just say that 14. That's... I think we could even push further, but let's just say 14s. Okay. So
how long do you want to dedicate to it?
Well, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so here's the list, right? Again, top 16 get accepted, okay?
Okay.
Where do you think we would land on this list of the top teams?
I can't quite see it. What is it?
Well, they're saying at 14 and a 10, it
16,
looks like...
14, 16.
Oh, that's a 16.
Yes.
So that's 24. I would say we're around the 100.
100.
Yeah.
Top 100. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it would be around the top 30.
What?
What, really?
Yep.
Ain't nobody playing this. Well, I didn't even know the Great Push was happening, so I guess maybe the news hasn't been big on it.
I mean, we'd be the top 40 if we even just did 12s and 13s like we could do right now. So I say all this because, guys, why aren't we doing this? We could argue that we are the top 30 team in the world.
I thought we were arguing that we're the podcast for the rest of us.
Yes,
what are we
but
arguing?
now we get into the club now. We can get in.
We don't. You were not getting into any club, Frank.
I feel like we have too many responsibilities outside of the game to allocate toward it. But I'd be
but it's just a badge of honor, you know.
Is there a prize for top 50 or something?
No. So the way I mean,
then who cares?
Well, bragging rights, right? Look, if we came in, if we somehow managed to get in the top 16, right, which is I think there were 18 or whatever. We
have to split $1,000. It's not even that much money between five of us.
You know how much money we've made off this podcast?
Well, negative money, probably.
Right? Yeah, someone accused us of milking the podcast to get, I guess, attention
for what?
For pirate software because they said we came in way too late and we were milking it. Like, dude, we've made $0. We're milking nothing.
We were milking it because we just wanted to talk about it.
I literally said Scrap was bursting at the seams to talk about it.
Sometimes you milk a cow because you want milk. Like, that's it.
That's the most profound thing I've heard all day.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so TGP this weekend. I know Scrap won't watch it. I ask you, do you ever watch it?
I do.
Okay, and then Shawnee, you'll watch it too.
Oh yeah.
Are we looking for any?
If there's clips, I'll watch clips. You know.
No, you don't. You say you will, but
sometimes Spelling will put a clip and be like, "Oh, look, they pulled all of Necrotic Wake or something," and I'll be like, "Oh, that's cool."
No,
or like,
all you watch is the YouTube shorts
of like that.
Yeah, as long as it's got what happens at the top and then some kinetic sand at the bottom, I'll watch it.
Okay. So that said, I'm on Radar.io. I wanted to take a second to call out something from Radar.io, right? So Radar.io has introduced a new create custom graphs feature as part of their 8th anniversary.
That's cool.
I used it last week when we were talking about this stuff, but there are some cool things that I discovered. So again, I think if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get access to this. Excuse me. But one of the things I wanted to call it is you can also, and I just found this out, look at your guild's stats. So I've pulled our guild stats.
Oh my god!
To see how the Mythic Dungeon League has performed within keys. And the first thing that stood out to me was, look how many runs our guild. I wouldn't have guessed this many runs.
Any person in our guild.
Does
it count 5 times if there's 5 of us in a dungeon?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Okay, yes. Yeah, it's been a long season.
But look, I mean, the total runs of but long seasons. Scrap, what is this like?
I want to see who's done the most.
7,000 or something.
Yeah, who's the one running up all the mist, dude?
So there are some other points that you can see, right? So for example, here are the timers. Actually, no. Before I ask that, did you see any? What do you think our least timed key, or at least our key we struggle the most with? I should say.
City of Threads. No fucking shot. We did it 2 days ago. It was horrible.
Siege, then Grim, then City of Threads.
Wasn't Siege one of the ones that was untimed? Shockingly, or we were all surprised by it last week when we were looking at statistics. It was Siege, wasn't it?
Well, that was one of the ones that we were surprised to see was struggling.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see it here.
But look, right? So it's also we've mistimed more overall Grims.
Oh yeah,
over Siege, but City of Threads. Now, granted, the percentage might be it doesn't have a percentage. City of Threads is a worst performing percentage.
Think about how many City of Threads we've not completed.
No, Siege isn't that 70?
It's 74.4 for City and 84 Oh, sorry. So, oh, you're right. 70.4. Okay, sorry, I missed that.
Oh no, wait. Grimm's 66, so it's the worst.
Grim is even lower. Yeah, we struggled.
Hate that dungeon.
I know that I struggled. Grim was like the last 12 I
Wait,
needed.
what are we?
How many?
What's ahead of Mist for best percent? Is that Necrotic Wake?
Our card.
Dawnbreaker.
Dawnbreaker?
Oh, Dawnbreaker.
Well, I think
How
once you
many
get going on
Dawnbreaker's
Dawnbreaker, it's
hard.
easier. Sorry,
Well, yeah,
you were saying?
Dawnbreaker, the timer's so cushy, but still a hard dungeon.
I was gonna say, how many of those siege runs do you think were failed due to pulling that pack on the third boss that's off to the side?
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I'm talking about, right?
I'm gonna make a bold claim. I don't think I've ever mistimed a siege ever in my life.
Well, it's
well, we can look that
up.
Oh wait, no.
I
Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
Let me see if I can see. No, I can't. But I can. No, okay. But
unless I was with you guys. Can I say unless I was with you guys?
We can see what it
wow.
looks like at the 12s and up.
Oh, wait a minute. Actually,
Yeah.
I know one off the top of my head. The one where you messed up the invis skip at the beginning.
Oh no, it wasn't complete though. It wasn't complete. It didn't. I've only completed one
Just
time.
not completing it, not count as mistiming it.
Here's our all our spec.
Survival Hunter. There I am. There's me.
Scrap. This is obviously us. This is obviously me, Shawnee,
Moosh.
and Musham and Lithian.
What's wrong with us?
Yeah, we make up the vast majority. It's like 21.8%.
I'm in all of these groups.
So I want to point out that the thousands of keys that we were just talking about, we are 21.8% of them.
Oh my god.
Also, our time
might have a
percent
problem.
is 66.9%, which I think.
That's not bad.
Oh no, it doesn't do that either way.
That's pretty good. That's a D+.
Well, there are some comps in the guild that has times 0%.
Let me look at who that is. Who's tanking? You're tanking it.
I don't know if it tells you. Yeah, it doesn't tell you who.
Iowa's healing. Oh, fear.com for sure. Haywire
No. If anything, this is me healing.
An impa.
There's a billion ret pallies out there.
Yeah.
So okay, the next screen will tell us that. What do you think the most popular spec is in our guild?
Mine.
Paladin.
Guild?
Wait, no. Resto Shaman, because Moosh and Phoenix both play Resto.
No, I'm gonna say I was gonna say Prot Pally. But
Musham and Phoenix are like some of the most prolific key doers, and they're both Resto Shamans. They both like almost exclusively play Resto.
Yeah, but
Lithian, I didn't play a lot of alts, but
at a point, Lithian and Musham were doing tons of
me, and I am the only survival hunter in this guild, and I'm fourth. There's something wrong with that.
You've done 308 keys according to this.
Well, Lithian. No, I was gonna say Lithian's the only Guardian Druid, but Pleb was playing a lot at the beginning of the season.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude,
anyways,
I'm the only one who's
great feature. Here are times. Look at the red for 12 keys and above.
Oh, threads. That's your threads that we're still trying to get, Io.
You see this? You see this miss one? That's all me.
Look at the
all
threads.
The red is me.
We've only timed like 2 12s or something.
Let's see. To run percent.
It's probably you, Frank, and Phoenix.
Six
and
maybe time runs. Yeah, I've timed a 12 city.
I've timed a couple 12 cities, I think.
Yeah. Anyways, thought this
Those
was really fun to look
mine.
at. Right?
That is so fun.
Look how bad some of the missed keys over 12 and over went. Negative 54.2% on time. That means we did like another 15 to 20 minutes after.
Why did we stay in that key?
You said it yourself, Scrap. Sometimes you got to stay for the five crests at a time.
5 crests at a time. Not anymore.
All right. Fun to look at that. Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for subscribing to Patreon. So
we will look at that. We will look at that more going into season 2 for certain, especially if we continue to grow as a guild, which we have.
Oh, Frank, we're gonna have to break down our dungeon buddies that Raider IO does.
Yes, we'll have to do our Raider IO recap at the end of the season.
Recap. That'll be fun.
When all 3 of us are in our own group and Scrap is nowhere near to be found in ours.
I think you're gonna be surprised.
Well, yeah, actually, based on what I just saw, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Scrap. I know we've talked about D.R.I.V.E. They have officially given it like its profile story in the blue posts about how it's going to work. In this patch this week for the PTR, they also added a horn and they tidied up some of the mechanics. I hope. I know it sounds insane, but I hope you can hear everyone's horns.
Yeah,
just imagine nonstop.
Yeah, that would be awesome if you could like mute all horns, but like it's just default all horns are on. Could be cool.
So Scrap.
Yeah.
I'm asking you specifically because you said in Discord the other day, this is something that you're so excited for. You're really worried, obviously, it won't be great, but I think you think it will be great.
I think it will be.
What are the criteria? What check marks does it have to take to be able to be considered a success for you?
It's hard for me to lay down exact criteria because I don't play a lot of card games. I mean, it's probably I can more ask you like how because you play a lot of Mario Kart and stuff like that. But the same with dragon flying, like it has to feel good. And I will say dragon flying, like I feel like it's really smooth and really fleshed out. And I'm addicted to the WoW Shorts channel. They put out a short with like it in action and somebody doing a donut and somebody doing like drifting and stuff like that. It looks like it handles amazing, like so good. So I'm hoping that drifting is really fun. The horn is a really nice bonus.
Just a nice little touch, right?
Yeah, honestly, I just really hope it handles well. I don't care about the customization as much.
Well, here's your customization options right here.
Yeah, like customization, like I meant like physical customization. But yeah, I'm just excited. I hope it's enjoyable and that it handles well.
It's got
That
5
I'll
horns.
want to play it.
Oh
my gosh, I love that. I'm so excited. I really hope it's good.
All right, what about you two?
What do you need?
I'm excited.
Yeah, but Frank, you and Shawnee both play racing games. So like, what about you is annoying in racing games or good in racing games?
Well, okay. Sorry,
go ahead, Frank.
No, sure.
Go. I really hope it's a lot like Mario Kart. I want to like drift corners. I want to race other people. If they gave us items somehow, like Mario Kart,
the banana peel.
Oh my, yeah, it would be great. But yeah, no, I'm really excited. I hope it's like, yeah, like a Mario Kart, Need for Speed kind of vibe. I want it to be like fun and arcadey, not like realistic, like Gran Turismo or something.
And I ask you,
yeah, I'm excited.
It looks really cool. Hopefully it's to ground mounts what dragon flying is to the flying mounts, and I'm interested to see how they incorporate it outside of the goblin area, because them making a feature like this, it'd be a waste for them just to put it in for that one thing. So hopefully they do some cool races or give you kind of a reason to use it outside of that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It seems like a fun, cool extra thing to work on in the next season.
My thing for it to be successful is it has to have multiplayer racing.
Now, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I don't, items and all that stuff sounds fun, but I just feel like that'll be tech that like will not play as well as we'd like it to.
Frank, the thing is that we talked about this before, that dragon flying has multiplayer racing and not a single one of us has touched it.
Well, I have touched it, but I only touched it like the very first day of Dragonflight,
Yeah.
But that's not because I didn't want to do it more. I was like, oh, we should do this as a group, and we'd rather go M+, right?
Yeah, I mean, we did some racing where we were just trying to beat each other's times, but we weren't like racing head to head, so I don't know.
But for me, like I feel like this would be a little more, because like dragon riding, you don't always quite see the other people racing, right? Whereas this one, if we saw each other, I don't know, like that's to me like where I'd be like, okay, this is awesome, and I do it over and over and over again. Whereas otherwise I might just use it to get from point A to point B. I still don't think that they have any plans to take this outside of Undermine. Now, of course, if it's really popular, they'll find a way to. I would assume that might be, well, you don't use it in the other world, outer world, other than maybe they do still make some races. Like, imagine if you could drive through Stormwind, right?
Like, or if they do in each area, like they do the dragon flying quest, still they have like, here's a goblin racetrack set up here, sort of thing.
Exactly, right. So that would be awesome too. I think that'd be a really good daily quest system, but we'll see. All right. Anything else you guys want to add?
Cool.
No. All right.
I'm cautiously optimistic about this.
Now, last week we talked about when they released the patch notes that there were some new spellcast animations. We have some of them on display here. Now, Scrap, you haven't seen these yet for the hunters, have you?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay. Well, these are the list of all the ones that seem to have been updated, but I don't know how impactful they are, so I'm gonna play them.
Skip
real quickly.
those. I don't know that Barb's shot. I don't play BM.
Well, I mean, it looks a little bit better, right? But again,
I don't know what it used to look like.
Well, that's because you're a donkey, but
yeah. Oh, let's see Disengage. I know Disengage.
Well, hold on, counter shot. You don't know counter shot, and I'm going to prove that
later.
I
use muzzle. Yeah. No, I have a different kick than counter shot.
But this just adds like a little arcane flair to it. Not that impressive.
Cool. Let me see.
Right.
This one I was a little disappointed by, Scrap. All right, so here's what it reads. It says the movement abilities of the hunter kit get some small touch-ups. With Disengage, it's just a gust in the wind on the hunter's feet, and then a tailwind on the hunter's model with post haste is active. So
okay, let's see it.
Not that
no.
awesome.
No, not that awesome.
Is...
if you told me that's what it was currently, I'd be like, yeah, that's what it is. Like I wouldn't have any idea if it wasn't that.
Aspect of the cheetah.
Cheetah?
Now,
okay,
this what does it do now? Because we talked about this for a split second.
Nothing. I think it makes a growling noise.
Okay.
In Classic, you used to put a cheetah above your head. Let's see it.
Yeah, kinda. But
yeah, I think that's the Classic one.
It's a little cleaner. A little cleaner. Like
no, it still has the cheetah. They added a tailwind. They said. I can't. I don't know. Sure, if they think that's fine, that's fine.
High explosive trap has a little animation to let you know what it does versus implosive trap. So this one I think just kind of has like a shrapnel effect.
Okay, whatever. Why the fuck do they do this? I would never see this over Consecrate, over fucking Arcane Explosion, over
Scrap, you are a multiplayer WoW player, and I think there is evidence that there's a better or stronger single player base than we imagine.
Oh, right? Yeah, you're right.
Arms Warriors got some as well. Colossal Smash. I don't know if
that was it. Oh, it's an overhand. Oh, that's cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
Warbreaker is a multi. I guess this is like an AOE one, so a little more.
Oh, that's so cool! I'm gonna play Arms Warrior.
Now that's the thing. So that's what I wanted to talk about with this. I know Shamans had one as well, where they changed their lightning bolt, and they've done some other things with Shaman as well. And we strongly encourage that they continue to update spell effects. So one, as a hunter scrap, is this enough for you?
I want something more like that. Why can't I have something more like that? I have a channel spell called Fear of the Eagle, and every time I mention it, everybody's like, "What do you mean a channel spell?" Blah blah blah. It's basically like, are they again?
I thought it now follows, doesn't it?
No. This is just this is what I'm talking about. Nobody knows about this. It's basically like a Survival Hunter Bladestorm. Like I channel it. It's a frontal, and my character does fuck all. She just kind of there's like an eagle sound. But I'm like, I wish I could have something like this because it's a big frontal cone. It's basically like damage wise, it's like a Bladestorm. It's like a huge AOE cooldown, and it doesn't really fucking look like anything except my character just really quickly slashing and stuff. I would love something like this. Give me some eagles flying in or some shit. I don't know. But yeah.
Okay, well, that was going to be my next question is what's one spell that you'd like to see updated in your
That's the one. I want Fear of the Eagle to have something cool.
Shani, I ask you anything out of the classes you may play?
I want Lay on Hands to be like something really. I want to see
Everyone's
a hand.
Screen goes bright.
Cool like I want to see a hand just come down, like a huge hand come down and like poke it. Like
that'd be cool, like the David, like or not the David,
like the
Adam,
thing, like
yeah, creation of Adam, like a finger comes down.
I think some Death Knight abilities would be cool if they had some new effects because
I did put some in this patch.
Did they?
Yeah.
Like
what? Remember we talked about how when Flux pulls with his
a little whelpy dragon?
No, the ice that shoots out in front of him, not the dragon.
Pillar of Frost?
No, it's I can't remember what it is, but it's like their filler for AOE instead of Frost Strike. It's this one.
It's Pillar of Frost.
It's Pillar of Frost is their cooldown. But anyways, they updated some of those as well. So Death Knights, Frost Death Knights especially did get some. But is there a specific one that you would want to see?
So I'm just thinking like Breath of Sindragosa. That's one that I think you can see it, but it would be cool if it's like a bigger, almost like an Avenging Wrath kind of animation where it's just this really evident thing that's going on that just looks really cool because it just seems underwhelming how it is right now, especially in the heat of everything.
Breath of Sindragosa is that's not the dragon that flies overhead. Is that what
no,
okay. I agree with you then. Yes, okay. Breath of Sindragosa is like just the AOE.
I get those mixed up too, Frank, because that one looks like it should be called Breath of Sindragosa because Sindragosa flies over and breathes.
Yeah.
So when people were talking about that, I was like, "Are you talking about you need to keep up that dragon? I never see her up. She just goes."
Especially with how long of a cooldown it is. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I think. I was just gonna say, I think paladins are definitely the cream of the crop, though. Almost every ability has a unique animation to it that just feels really satisfying to hit, even when it's like a really simple button. So
except for consecration, they screwed us on that.
Yeah.
You still want your fancy consecration.
Well, they added it. They added it in Legion, I think, and then they took it out, I guess, because of what it did to graphics cards.
But I think the old consecration model is like a load-bearing model, and if they switch it out, the whole thing collapses.
The whole spaghetti code is
it's the spaghetti code unravels.
They use that consecration animation in Priory of the Sacred Flame.
Yeah, I know, it
now,
looks
so,
amazing too.
Yeah. So where the fuck? Anyways,
They used it in ancient Chromie Dungeon. What the fuck is it called?
Did they? Yeah.
They did.
Dawn of the Infinite, the one we talked
Dawn
about
of the
literally
Infinite, yeah.
10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know, but I couldn't remember what it was called. That's why I said Dawn of the Ancients, Dawn of the Infinite.
So yeah, I mean, Arcane does have it pretty good with some of their spell effects. Unfortunately, it's just like, as you said, Scrap, when you're playing in multiplayer, it gets drowned out by some of the other things.
I mean, I do feel like I'm cool with like if I get a spell effect, you know, there's all kinds of things that I see that other people don't see that are only fun for me to see. Like I'm assuming this Warbreaker. Well, no, I could probably see it, but I mean, there's definitely stuff that like my character displays that other people don't. Unfortunately, one of them is the fucking circle I put on the ground, and we've talked about that to death.
We see the bird. We see the bird flying overhead.
Yeah, that's like this big. It's tiny, man. It's terrible. But I'm just saying, like, there is a delineation between like things that are cool for me to see and also necessary for other people to see to like work collaboratively, like circles on the ground, you know, things like that, like frontals, maybe even, you know, like consecrates or whatever. And if they can make it so that I get more fun things that just I see, I'm totally down with that. I just don't want to get so cluttered that, because we already have the issue with like there's a breath coming on a brown circle on a brown ground, and there's like 2 consecrates and a death and decay. I can't fucking see shit. Like,
yeah, I definitely think they need to
careful.
come up with like something to still let the tank know that there's something beneath that other players might be worried about, but not to take away from. Okay, so as an Arcane Mage or any mage for that matter, you have shifting power, right? And it's from Shadowlands. It's from the Night Fae. And it's you essentially put yourself in this seed and start pulsing all this arcane energy out. I never can see a swirl below me when I'm using that spell. Right? Yeah. And so
they need to be careful.
Well, and that just like it should be to the point where I mean I'm hoping the new swirly effect will obviously solve this, and it should. But as a tank, it'd be nice if like instead of seeing consecrate, I just saw like a very faint yellow circle, right? That I could spot if I went looking for it. But I don't need to really worry about it, because again, at the end of the day, I don't think, maybe at the top end, of course, but like I don't think the average pug tank cares if they're in your consecrate or not, right?
Oh, for sure.
And of course,
dude, of course not. Or the tanks we play with don't even care.
Yeah. Even if you ask them to care, right?
If you ask them, they specifically will try to drag them out of things.
Which is ironic, because consecrate is one of the ones that are like easiest to reapply.
Yeah, you can pick it up and move
like
it.
Death and Decay is not. And I don't think I ever see Death and Decay, so I don't know.
Death and Decay is like dark though, like
sure.
So I think it's harder to see.
But again, just a faint little red circle, like you know, using the new technology just to let you know that there's something there. But you don't like you could miss it if you're worried about something else. But if you like, oh, I see, I'll leave it because it's Death and Decay is down or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move on to one of the big stories this week. I'm gonna try to pack all this as best as I can because it's a little overwhelming, especially since I don't. Like, to me, a lot of the terms they use, like Challenger's Peril or Zaltascal or whatever, don't really make sense to me. I know it as the 12 affix, and I know it as the, you know.
And that's probably how we're going to refer to it.
The combination of the Tyrannical and Fortified is
yeah.
You know. So, Blizzard made a very long blue post, essentially saying, we need to make changes to M+ to make it better, okay?
Okay.
So here's a summary from Wowhead. Gilded crests will now drop from 7s and above, so not as hard to get. The logic behind that was they were worried people were jumping into 8s without the right gear, because they figured I have to do 8s to get what I need to be able to upgrade my gear, but they didn't have the gear in the first place, therefore making this, you know, people are struggling to do 8s and above.
Yeah.
Hero track.
Yeah. Hero well, but in fairness, the curve, we'll talk about the curve in a second. It is not as steep. Hero track will be available from 6s and above, so you'll be able to upgrade to what would effectively be gear that you could use in 10s and above. Mythic 0 is now going to drop champion gear instead of veteran gear, if I remember correctly, or whatever, you know, the previous one was. Tyrannical and Fortified have been moved to level 7 and 10, and Challenger's Peril has been removed. Now, if I remember correctly,
is Challenger's Peril?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Challenger's Peril was the death affix.
Yep, the 15 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. That sounds right.
So the death affix of 15 seconds versus 5 seconds has been removed. Big change, by the way.
Oh, I like that.
But did you really notice that? Like, it didn't make it fun.
No, but I like that dying is. I don't know. I thought it was a cool way to punish you at a higher level.
But Scrap, the runbacks themselves are the punishment.
They gave you 6 free deaths, Frank.
Eventually.
You know?
Yeah, but isn't that also kind of undoing the point of Xal'atath's or the Challenger's Peril?
Well, if you die less than or more than 6 times,
we're not
going to
beat that dead horse. I think
like
unanimously most people agree this is.
I know. I thought it was good. I thought it was an interesting metric of difficulty.
So
it's still in there.
I was going to say, Scrap. So
it's still in there.
Xal'atath's Guile, which was the additional, I think 20%, but they nerfed it at some point, whatever it is now. Xal'atath's Guile is no longer the doubling down of Fortified and Tyrannical. It's now the Challenger's Peril, Death. Okay, so instead of the additional health and damage done, it's now this is where the death timer comes in. And then they have tweaked the change that they talked about a couple weeks ago, where if you hit the 2850 achievement, you would have your keys locked not to deplete any lower than 12. Well, they listened to our feedback and they said, okay, at 12 and above, keys cannot deplete past that level once you've timed every dungeon at that level. Okay, so if you do all 12s and your IO reflects that, you will not have your key deplete below a 12. If you do all 13s, your keys can't deplete past 13. So it goes up as you go. I think this is an amazing change. Not really necessary for us. Now, we will appreciate this because the 12s part, 13s part, if we ever get there, right?
Yeah, we can actually, I think it'll give us a better chance to actually practice these keys at the 12 and 13 level.
Right? Because if we run into a City of Threads at a 12 and bonk it, right?
Or in the case of mine 2 days ago at 13.
Well, yeah, but we
ripped down to an 11.
Exactly. We like walked away with an 11, right? We would be able to just start over.
Yeah.
I could literally scream, go again, you know? So
I mean, that's basically what we did. We got to a part where we made one mistake and we were like, okay, we got to drop it to a 12 because it's like, it's bricked. And then we made another mistake and it's like, well, we might as well finish it because we might as well get the 15 crest or whatever the fuck. Yeah, it would be cool to just be able to like just keep restarting it because that is something I will do with you guys like all night if it's like we just need to get this one.
I think it'd be fun to practice, right?
I feel like it would feel like real practice where sometimes it feels like we're floundering a little bit like okay, I kind of practice but I'm not going to get another 12 quarter threads for another week and I'm going to forget all this shit. You know what I mean? If we just sit there and hammer it out, I feel like we can make real progress as a team.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that's different for us. Because, okay, so on the one hand, let's say I'm the person that runs an 18 to 19 to 20, right? This is going to make my ability to want to push better. Now, I saw on Twitter, some people were saying they actually think the inverse will happen, but I mean, we'll wait and see. Like,
what do you mean by inverse?
The people who push will have like some reason why they don't feel like they want to keep pushing, despite the fact that they don't have to worry about the key falling.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. That's just like WoW drama.
Whatever, yeah.
But I think this would be great for those people that if they truly say they want to push, but they don't want to doing the catch-up keys. They want to do homework keys, as they call them, right? Well, now if I get all my 18s done, cool, now I can do homework keys, right? And prepare myself to push to 19s.
Yeah.
And then the last bit of information here is that Keystone Legend, which was 2850 IO, has been moved to 3000. You know, that's fine. We'll talk about why that won't make a big deal in just a second. Okay. So,
I mean, it sounds to me, Frank, like if it's not going to have the doubling down of Fortified and Tyrannical, that like 12s and 13s are going to be a bit easier. So it makes sense that they move that achievement back further.
Great question, Scrap. Do you want to see what
great
that chart
question.
will look
That
like?
was more of a statement, but
I know.
yeah,
I was framing. Oh my god, sorry, I didn't mean to zoom in.
It's right. Oh god.
Let me see if I can zoom out on this. No, I can't. Okay. Oh god, I can do it this way. There we go. Okay.
Edit this out.
Here is the new scale. I'm not going to edit it out. Here's the new scale, okay? So, what this means is levels, there's no level 1, I don't know what this is about, but M0. M0. Okay, so M0s will be 25% harder, okay?
Is this with our current gear or with next season's top gear? You know, this is what I'm always confused about.
The gear is irrelevant. This is just a multiplier on the base.
Okay,
So for example, Scrap, right now, if like if it's a baseline of 1, right, because it's 100% damage, in an M0, and we go to do a 12.
Oh, okay, I see.
The damage is 313% higher than that base level 1. Okay. So in the new,
significantly easier.
In the new season, it'll be M0s are buffed a little bit, but as you get into the 4s through 9s, they'll be about the same, right? Very close. Okay. And then as you get to the 10s and above, they will be easier. So for example, a 12 right now is 313% damage modifier. That would be between a 13 and a 14 next season. So getting to a 3000 IO will be easier next season.
Yeah.
Because you will be able to do 13s that are easier than 12s right now. And the 14s will be harder than 12, but easier than a 13 right now, which right now I'm trying to time 13. So I will be in the 14 zone next season, working on going to 15s, which will be easier than the 14s I'd be doing this season. Sorry to make that confusing, right?
And I think it will even be easier because we can practice, and you won't lose your key over and over to some donkey.
Because I can get all my 13s done, which again would be easier than getting all my 12s done. I've already done that, so it should be easier. That said, so here's any questions on the graph before we move on?
No, it looks good.
Okay. That said, they've also done some tuning to make sure that the dungeons themselves aren't so punishing. Okay. So this season's meta was the tank has to do everything perfect or else they'll die. Right.
Which they said they weren't going to do, and then they did.
Yeah, well, I think they accomplished what they wanted to do, but then everyone came back and said, yes, you did, but we don't like that. That's not fun, right? So they're switching gears and saying, okay, well, tanks will be able to, one, clearly see when their tank busters are coming, but two, they won't be as often on trash mobs, because, you know, it makes sense on a boss. It doesn't quite make sense on all the trash. However, the healing profile is going to change drastically to the point where healers will have healing checks with certain mobs in every dungeon. Now, this was best described, I think, by one of the other podcasts. I want to say it was the Potty C. They were saying, like, what you'll see is there'll be a whole group of, like, each tank will have, like, one mob every, 10 mobs. That's the deadly mob. The mob that, kind of like the Portal Master, whatever, in Necrotic Wake. You know what I'm talking about? What are those mobs called?
Mini
the gatekeepers?
No,
the gatekeepers. Right?
Oh, I thought you were asking for like a type of.
So in Necrotic Wake, right? Like you would pull everything around it to that gatekeeper, and it's the gatekeeper that is literally gatekeeping you from moving on to the next pull, right? So you'll see more pulls like that, where it's like, okay, let's get as much as we can on top of that one mob, kill that one mob, and then we can go on to the next gatekeeper, pull as much as we can on top of that. That's the kind of meta you'll see next season.
The
interrupts will be less, right? So you'll see far less interrupts that are a concern. If there is something that needs to be interrupted, they will add a larger cast time to it, so you have more time to react to it. But there will be more AoE damage, it sounds like, as a result of that. That is not avoidable, and that is now what the healers are tasked with sorting out, right? Instead of worrying about the tank so much. Which like last week we talked about. I don't think the healers really ever had to worry about the tanks. It was more of just like, if the tank doesn't survive it, they're done, So, that said, they have made some other changes. So they've added time to a lot of the dungeons that are being tested right now. Now, granted, this isn't necessarily a buff or a nerf that we think it is, because those timers may have been arbitrary to begin with, and now they're just like making them accurate.
They're figuring out where people are landing on it.
Exactly. But you can see some things have been now can be interrupted, which weren't in the past, which again is good. Increased timers, 3 seconds from 2 seconds. And then, of course, the cooldowns on these creatures have longer cooldowns, so they don't use them as frequently. Again, following the philosophy. I'm not going to read through all of these. We kind of get the idea. They also have added or changed the resurrection points in some of the dungeons, making them not as egregious.
This is like a huge sticking point of my enjoyment of a dungeon, is if it's got no checkpoints or bad checkpoints, it really fucking hurts my enjoyment of the dungeon.
Yeah, so like, look, defeating Blazikon updates the graveyard location, which is nice. I don't even know what Owaxatory is, but whatever. And then the minecart event has been updated, I think, again. So now adds a graveyard location after you've completed it. Movement speed has been significantly increased while out of combat. I don't think there's much out of combat time out of that, but whatever. Enemies in the minecart event have had their health reduced, darkness health reduced, minimum threshold adjusted. And then, of course, the encounter now ends with 55% in the darkness, which is the last boss. Okay. That said, it sounds like everyone's really happy about these changes. So I wanted to hear y'all's take. How are you feeling? I ask you, you're the only healer. I know I heal on the side, so I'm not going to really claim I'm a healer. You play every healing class that I know of. What are your thoughts so far on the philosophy change?
Yeah, it all sounds like pretty good. If as long as the tanks are getting one shot, if the healing checks are like they are this season, it's just a matter of just practicing until you understand what kind of damage is coming out and what you have to use for it. So I don't think that needs to change too much, but yeah, if it's more just, hey, we're gonna pull a bunch of stuff on this mob and you have to prepare and know what you have to use to get through it, I'm down for that. That's what's fun to me about it. So
okay.
Was there anything in particular you were thinking about?
Here's the way I look at it. I don't mind the okay, I'm trying to think of some examples from this season. So the mini bosses in Dawnbreaker?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that one mini boss that just does the AoE, the one that's hiding in the house of the general or whatever.
Yep.
Has the AoE that just slams, right? Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. I think it's like 5 or 6 ticks. That's
and then
fine.
The dot going
That's
out
fine,
too,
right?
I think.
But then the dot goes out, right? And that is all group AoE damage. I feel like if that's what we're going to see more of that kind of combo, that's a problem. Because
yeah, but how do you counter that combo? Somebody has to use defensive, right?
Yeah, but they technically already have to use the defensive. Like, it gets so bad. It's not that, like, again, at the 9s and 8s, it's fine because it's just like use a defensive, everyone will be fine. But it gets so bad sometimes where, like, I have the dot on me and it's, it's about to tick off, but I've used my defensive at the start of the dot to give me some breathing room. And, 5 seconds later, I still have the dot, but the defensive's gone. And then the AoE's coming. It's like now entirely reliant that if Ioski, I'm just using as an example, doesn't heal me in the 1 second buffer zone between the two things happening, I am going to die, and it's out of my control, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, I am a mage. I have plenty of cooldowns for defensive, so I really don't need to worry about it because I will have usually something else. But I also start stressing out because I need to get better at using my defensives, and I think that's good gameplay. But I also feel like, and I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I know I've talked about it with you guys in person. One of my most frustrating things about defensives is wasting them because I use, like, for example, Ice Block, and then Ioski lay on hands me.
Yeah, bubbles you or something.
Yeah, and now granted, the gameplay node there is like, okay, well, we need to be doing a better job of communicating, of course.
Yeah,
of course,
communicate,
right?
yeah.
But I'm not worried about us. I'm worried about when I'm pugging. I'm worried that, we're like...
Well, when you're pugging, you have a heavy hand on it. You're like, I don't care if somebody bubbles me. I'm turtling. You know what I mean? Because you're going to save yourself.
I'm going to give you an example. I was doing a 13 stone vault, right?
Why were you doing that?
Because I want to get my IO beating you.
Sounds terrible.
And there was a demon hunter in the group as a... Not vengeance. What's the other one?
The other one.
Havoc.
Yeah.
First boss, I used all my defensives and died, right? It's a tough boss. I'm not gonna be slagging the healer off. So did the demon hunter. Second boss, same instance. I used all my defensives. There was that last AoE bit, and I died. And arguably I had maybe too many stacks of the dot on me. I don't know. But anyways, it's Scarmark, right? And I die. We're now going into other trash, and again, I'm burning through defensives. There was one pull where I had, I think, Ice Block up. I didn't notice it up like before it was too late. But the Demon Hunter dies as well. And then I die later. I didn't use Ice Block. I should have. Again, whatever. But it was one mistake. And the Demon Hunter starts like chewing me out about not using my defensives. I'm like, dude, you've died just as much as I have. And I've used every single thing. And like, again, I make one bad move of all the juggling I've been doing, which is not surprising. I don't expect anyone to play perfectly at the level of pugs we do, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like that's the kind of toxicity I'm worried about.
Yeah, I think I misunderstood what you were saying when you were describing how the damage was going to be. Yeah, I actually do agree with you now. If you have more gatekeepers in dungeons or more things like the generals, like one or two a dungeon, I think is okay. But if that's going to be the constant trend, then yeah, you're going to run into an issue where you're just going to be out of tools eventually. And yeah, I mean, you can optimize those tools for sure. And if you're a more coordinated group, you could figure out how you want to approach that stuff. But yeah, in a pug scenario, it's just going to make pushing those hierarchies, especially if you're someone who only pugs, it's going to be even tougher. I think the dungeons are the best when there's you have maybe like a tank check, a damage check, and a healing check. Just spread it out all amongst everybody, and everyone kind of has to do their part. So it just, if they're putting all their eggs into that basket, that's obviously not something I think would be great.
something they need to fucking fix if they're gonna do it the way they're talking about. Tell me
Okay,
if this has
Scrap, bring it in
happened.
hot.
Tell me if this is something that's happened to you, Frank. It's the first boss of Necrotic Wake, and he chooses you for the spit 5 times out of 5 times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They need to fix that. Like, nobody has that many defensives, and it's like I'm in a high key. I'm like, what is this fucking
That's when
number
you just run over
generator
the tank and
fucking
then
me?
get the tank killed, and you go, dude, what are you doing?
I'm just saying it. You know, like you're talking about the mini boss in Dawnbreaker. She puts a dot on you while doing an AOE. If that goes on me, no problem. Like I've got some takes like maybe 2 defensive
Yeah,
sometimes.
Hold on. But Scrap,
then it goes on me again.
Well, that's what
Huh?
I'm saying. If it's not going to be 2 to 3, or like Ayasi was worried about, right? It's going to be like 10, right? You
10
know,
defense.
like every pull is going to be finding that one mob, pulling everything you possibly can to it.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you still got to manage like some interrupts on the other mobs that might be deadly, but like it's that one mob that's the problem. And so in this case, the gatekeeper, and you pull as much as you can. Now that gatekeeper pull in Necrotic Wake on a 12 or 13 ain't no slouch, right? Like, I mean, we could time 12s pretty easily now, and that's still a very dangerous pull for us on a 12. In fact, I think we bricked our last Necrotic Wake 12 we did because we didn't coordinate very well on that, right?
Yeah, I do foresee
so there'd be 10
another
of those, right?
Yeah, I see another Resto Shaman meta because, like, I mean, if you got SLT, like, you can kind of tank through that. Just throw it down and hopefully everything's dead by the time it's over. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't think that's a one size fits all, but I mean, the healer meta's evolving still anyways, and I mean,
look, I haven't done any of these dungeons in PTR. That's no surprise to anybody. I don't heal. No surprise to anybody. I'm gonna see, and then I'll come back to you with an opinion. No, I don't do that either.
Do you play more than one tune?
I do one thing, but I do it quite well, just comparatively.
We'll
not
see
like
about
well
that when we
in
review some
general.
information later.
Oh, information, huh? Okay. God forbid. Yeah, but yeah, I think you guys are making very good points. I'm very interested to see how it pans out.
All right. Sorry, okay. What I wanted to say though is, overall, the argument has been that pugging is dead, and we even kind of alluded to this in our beta. I think beta information for War Within. We jokingly said beta, not pugging is dead. I don't feel that's necessarily true. However, let's just say for the sake of argument, it is. Do you think all these changes are good enough, or they need to do more?
I think on paper it looks great, but like I said, I'm not going to see how it shakes out until I see how it shakes out.
I don't think they'll ever, like, I don't know if there's a way to fix the problem with pugs. So,
especially, God, there was
it's people. It's not necessarily the game to me. It is people themselves.
Yeah, they will never be happy.
Yeah, they'll never be happy, and like it takes one person to ruin your pug. Like, the only way they might be able to somehow like curtail it would be some kind of like you have to achieve a certain score to get into like the next level of keys, like some kind of matchmaking score type thing.
We have that though.
We'll talk
I mean,
about that in a second.
Yeah, but I mean, like actual like you can't get in it. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, again, you can as a key holder, you can gatekeep.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like maybe if they put some kind of system in. And the other one would be like if they also put in some form of system for like they already supposedly watch it themselves for people who like horrendously like grief keys.
My favorite moment of the whole season.
Yeah, but like maybe something like that too.
So good.
Because I think honestly the problem with pugging is people, not WoW's fault, but people themselves.
So I can't remember who it was. I want to say it was Peekaboo or whatever his name is, from who's now playing Classic in the OnlyFans. But like,
I saw him die. I was online when he died on one of his characters.
Well, he was reacting to people being super like just always downer on WoW, and effectively said like, guys, just you love this game. You clearly love this game. You play it so damn much. Why do we have to be so damn negative all the time? And you know, we've talked about that briefly on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's so disheartening to see. I don't know what it is about WoW players. I don't even think it's like a gaming thing, because there are some people who just like PoE people, for example, Path of Exile. I keep always returning this. One, it does help that the developers talk so like communicatively with the players. But like they're so much more understanding, and even if they are upset, they don't think that the game is dead, and they go talk about how shitty it is, blah blah blah. And yet, WoW players like game's dead every season. Game's dead, and then they're back soon. Game's alive, I guess. You know, like what is it about WoW that draws that kind of ire?
I think a lot of us are suckers for nostalgia. And we have like a unattainable glory day in our heads of like classic when literally like 11 million people were playing it. It was very collaborative energy, and the game has just slowly changed to something that we're having trouble recognizing.
It's not slow. It's like it's been the same kind of thing for like 5
slow.
expansions.
It's been over 10 years. Yeah.
But it's changed slowly.
I mean,
20.
Well, since it's been good, IO.
I mean, I think it's still a good game. I think most people complain. Yeah, I think it's great. I still play it. I think a lot of people complain about this more than other games. Comes down to that you're paying for it every month.
Nah,
like DOE, like I love Diablo 4, and my friends and I play the crap out of it for like 3 weeks to 4 weeks of the season, and then we don't even pick it up, and none of us care because we're like, oh well, we've paid for it once, and we're in season 7 already. We're in WoW. Like,
yeah,
you know, you're continually paying for it, and you kind of expect, I don't know, something for your product.
I like that, Shawnee. There's like a sense of entitlement because you're paying so much more for it than the average game.
But okay,
that being said, I love WoW. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but like I think that's the big thing.
Okay, but Shawnee, let's say for the sake of argument, right, that for Diablo 4 or any of the game's PoE seasons, that they had the same kind of model, but like if you played Diablo 4 for 3 to 4 weeks, right, you paid 1 month of subscription. Would you be that upset with paying $15 for 1 month of game, even though you bought the base game as well?
I wouldn't continue to keep it because the other difference with PoE and Diablo and stuff is like each season you make a brand new character.
Okay.
Right? So like, am I, is vested in it? Because like, I play this character for 3 weeks and I don't, after that I'm like, whatever. My friends and I are already talking about season 8. We're like, what are they going to do in season 8? Like, it'll be cool. What are we going to play? Like, we're in a season, we're half out of it. And I just don't think, if I had to pay a sub for Diablo, I wouldn't play it. There's not enough game there.
Okay.
But where I don't pay a sub, I'm like, I don't care, man. I paid my like $120 and I've played a lot.
What about the idea that if they're does WoW's season have more content than Diablo 4's?
I feel WoW does in a way because you have to do it grouped up. In a sense, you need other people to do it. Where in Diablo, I don't need anyone to get through Diablo.
Yeah, but I mean, you could raid finder. You could.
No, but you still need other people to agree. Like in Diablo, you do not need someone else to get through the season. Like, there's a raid in it, but you don't need to do that raid. Like, you're not getting anything special out of that I can't get from something else. Yeah, so they
I would say, sorry.
Do you have anything that you would add to that in any other game system that you've enjoyed?
No, I think the one thing WoW has over Diablo specifically too is the fact that it's a bit more replayable. Like Shawnee said, once you get us to a certain point in Diablo with your character, you'll probably be done for the season. So I think that's another thing that will make paying for WoW feel more worth it over something like Diablo. Hold
on. That exists in WoW. You get your gear up to a certain eye level with all the your perfect slots, and you could arguably be done just like you would be in Diablo 4.
That's true.
There's more to do in WoW if you choose to.
I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, Yeah,
no, but you're right. The gear thing's right, but in WoW, say if you really want to, if you're like, man, I want to get my money's worth. Like I've definitely have times where I'm like, I want my money's worth, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go do pet battles, or I'm gonna go PvP, or I'm gonna do raids, or I'm gonna do M+, or I'm gonna do old achievements. Like, there's so much to do in WoW that, if someone's like, I don't got anything to do, it's more, you don't have anything to do that you want to do compared to like, there's actually nothing to do.
No, I think we should be clear. Like, there's clearly, I don't think that the Diablo 4 should have. But what I'm saying is that you know, if I were to say, okay, I want to add a $15 a month sub to Diablo 4. Well, one, I think it's fair to say I shouldn't have to level up every season, right? But on the inverse, what % of your leveling up is your season play?
3 hours.
Oh, really?
Is
Okay.
what it takes to hit max level now.
That goes way faster than I thought it would. Okay.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well,
PoE is
actually,
not that way. So,
No, PoE's longer, but
although
it's
that
a
could be
different
something they
game.
address.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying it's weird. People are complaining Diablo's too fast, and then same people are complaining like PoE's too slow. So
yeah. You can't make everyone happy. Anyways,
anyway,
I don't want to get bogged down on that. It's something I've always hated. Like, I mean, how many times in our Discord again has someone come in and just be like,
Well, Frank, let me give my perspective because my hatred for WoW is not unique to WoW. I'm very critical of everything I enjoy. And extremely critical of anything you enjoy. Like the part of the way I enjoy a medium is discussing the
I
things
enjoyed
I
Spirit.
dislike
I don't know what
about
you're
it.
talking about.
You like Spirit?
No, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, go on, watch it. It's so good. But I just take a critical eye to most media that I indulge in, and I indulge in WoW a fuckload. And I like talking about what's bad about it. I like talking about what's good about it too.
I think you're very unique, Scrap. Like, I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of letting you guys talk because I'm like, I can't relate to any of this. Like, I'm just a hater ass bitch, and that's why I'm a hater ass
but even
bitch.
then, I think when you complain about things, you're like smiling ear to ear and just saying, "Well, I hate it."
Well, I was talking about this the other day. I can't remember about what media, but it's like it's so much harder. It hurts me so much more when something is almost good or almost great. Like if something is just dog shit, it's bad. I don't feel really the need to talk about it much.
Cancel
I'm
your
just
sub
like,
and move on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I was dog shit and I didn't like it. But if something is like almost good, I will talk about it for 17 hours. Like about how I would fix it, how I would do this, how I would do that. It's like it's just so close to good. It just needed a little tweak. And in a lot of ways, I feel like I play a lot of WoW. I talk about WoW a lot with you guys. I feel like I have a lot of opinions, and that's, you know, and they intersect. Those two things intersect, and a lot of my opinions are about, you know, negative things I could do better.
Load
Others is about good
screens.
things. Load screens, yeah, load screen. But for every load screen that I'm like, I hate, there's like a fucking drive mechanic that I'm excited about, you know?
Yeah,
I just
but
like
you
talking,
weight them
guys.
the same. You weight well, maybe you
To
don't
me, it's
actually
the
weight them. I was
same.
gonna say you weight them like
To me, it's just as important.
Someone in our comments this week said the fact that Scrap is saying warbands equals, you know, load screen is insane.
I'm upset about yeah. Well, I'm coming here and I'm telling you what I think.
I know. You're unapologetically stupid. That's what I wrote in the comment.
I'll take it with that note.
All right. Well, let's move on to the other notes in the PTR patch notes, which is class changes. I'm just going to quickly drill through these. So it looks like Frost is getting buffed, as is Unholy. Now, I haven't been watching them, but if I were to assume the baseline is season 1, this sounds like a big deal for them. They're getting, you know, quite a bit of.
So we have to
buffing.
keep in mind, grain of salt, like this is in conjunction with the new tier set and throwing out the old one. So these might be just balancing it, not necessarily a nerf or a buff.
Season 1 tier sets are usually not that.
I know, but they might be rebalancing it to make up for something and compensate.
Frost and
it's hard
Unholy,
to call these.
Rejoice, you got buffs.
It's hard to call them buffs. So
Demon Hunter got some damage buffs, and Felscard seems to be getting some more love, because I think Felscard in the Vengeance, I can't remember, but I think Felscard in the Vengeance was like now off the table because it just like didn't make sense. It didn't even like interact with the tier set, and maybe this is there adjusting it. Havoc got some buffs, it looks like. Oh, little
Are they going through with the Ogvoker thing? Like, didn't they say they were gonna
and
rebalance?
Shawnee, did you post this, or was it someone else that like posted a tier set and they like put Og at the top because they think that the damage is just gonna be out of control for them?
I could have posted. I was sharing just anyone I found in case we do our meta thing.
So thank you for saying that. We're gonna next week's or I should say next episode, because God knows if there's no news we won't do an episode, but next episode we will do a meta update on season 2, so don't worry, that's coming. Okay. Druid balance. I don't know what Power of Goldrin is, but it got buffed. Star Surge got buffed, like they need those stupid buffs. Feral, all damage increased by 8%. You know,
just somebody help Feral, please.
Yep. Hero talents for Evokers seems like these are all buffs. It looks like Beastmaster. buffed. Beastmaster, I think, was going into the S tier of damage, and now they're getting even buffs.
I know. I was talking about trying Beast Mastery.
Oh, they got a little nerf. They got a little nerf on their tier sets, though. Okay, so marksmanship buffs, nice. Mage, Frostfire. I don't know what the stack is, but whatever. It looks like a buff.
Oh, you don't even know your hero talent.
Well, this is a Frost and Fire hero talent, and you know I don't play those.
Right.
I am Arcane.
Yeah, true.
Arcane Barrage, buffed, hell yeah. Making it tough for me to play Arcane next season. Sure. Oh Christ. What else? Frost and Fire.
Looks like nerfed. Everything got buffed.
No, Frost and Fire got nerfed.
Well, it's Mage. They had it coming.
Brewmasters buffed. Yeah, okay, so it just looks like some good
Girl,
buffs.
I might try some arms because that Warbreaker thing looks so cool. And look at all those arms buffs.
Oh, yeah. Buff.
Oh, dude, Fury buff. I've been itching for Warrior again. I don't know if it's.
I don't know why you don't play. And you said you were going to, but I don't know why
you don't play
multiple teams.
I really enjoy the tune I play, and I feel like every other thing I play is this is just Survival Hunter but worse. Especially Fury Warrior, it's just like Survival Hunter with less stuff. It's a very similar kind of gameplay loop, but I can do less things. So I don't know, but I think next season will be different.
I feel that, Scrap. That was like me trying Arms Warrior, and I was like, oh, this is a Ret Pally without any defensives that I really care for or utility or anything.
I feel like
I get that part of it, but why wouldn't you just change it up and play something entirely different, like a ranged caster?
I'm gonna play Fire Mage, Frank. I'm gonna play it.
I'm doing Shadow Priest. You see me play my Shadow Priest,
Okay.
Yeah.
And Technique would be happy to see that Prot is getting buffed too. So buffs all around. You get a buff. You get a buff. You get a buff. I didn't see Holy Pally did that.
Holy got buffed.
What are you planning on maining next season?
Maining, I'll probably just do Holy Paladin again, and I'll probably do Mistweaver and Resto kind of on the side, or Resto Shaman, sorry.
And I hear for Paladins, Lightsmith is dead in the water. Is that right?
Yeah, they're pretty much nerfing that. Yeah. I think for I don't know if it's mostly for Prot specifically, but it's gonna affect. We're not gonna use Avenging Crusader anymore. We're probably going back to Herald of the Sun.
So, just a little side story. I was doing I think a 13 Arakara, and you know how Prot Paladins, if they use their Lightsmith hand or shield on you, that they kind of do a spirit link with you as well.
Yeah,
I finally saw it in action. it was the first boss. You know how you take a little ticking damage as she's dropping the swirlies on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, I was taking massive amount. I was like, what is I was thinking 80% of my health each thing. I was like, what is going on? And yeah, he killed me with his stupid shield. So wonderful.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yep. Okay. Well, that is 11.1. We are still without a date, Scrap. So we still could possibly see.
Now, it's March, dude. I have a very reliable source that told me March. An inside source, even.
Now
inside this Discord.
Now that said, they have, I think, officially concluded the raid testing. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday was raid testing for was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, yeah. Was for the final 3 bosses they want another pass on. From what I hear, the theme is out of the park on the bosses. Some of the bosses don't seem as great, but they always say this kind of stuff, so I'm not really worried about it. I think no matter what, we're gonna have a great time. But I think they're also reaching the point in M+ where they're gonna start testing all the dungeons at once. So maybe we can get on there. I know you won't, Scrap, but maybe we can get on there and start testing some of them. See how it is, so we can report back to the podcast. But yeah, I think we're gonna get an announcement for a date next week.
Okay.
So prepare to eat your hat.
March.
I'll send you some chocolate hats.
Send me a hat, yeah. I know, I'm sure, I'm positive. I've been hearing this from my little bird for months, and he's never wrong.
If
I don't
you say so.
March.
Wait, wasn't he wrong though?
Not yet.
Not yet. Nothing's been confirmed yet.
Not yet. He's not been wrong.
All right, Shawnee.
Yo.
Now, we didn't talk about this last week, although I meant to. So, not only is in 11.1 in the Undermine, is there a quest line where you can unlock an apartment. There is not really much evidence that there's anything related to player housing other than the idea that owning an apartment, could be a precursor to that, because there's not any customization to it, it sounds like.
Yep.
However, in the classic Cataclysm Classic PTR, there were some strings found that would suggest that we're going to start seeing what this might look like. Okay, now granted, this is 100% speculative, so let's be careful what we take from it. But there are some strings in there that would seem to summarize things like the ability to add interior and exterior flags. I'm not sure what the model type would mean, but like I guess that's like the shape of the house. Your theme, so you can have rugged or folk or generic or opulent. You would have different types of floors and ceilings and tabletops and whatever. There's apparently sizing, so small, medium, or large. And you can see here the component theme would be human, which goes in line with what they were suggesting that Stormwind and probably Orgrimmar would be first. There's also permissions added, so you know, we can add Scrap the ability to not come anywhere near our house and lock her out. And then of course there's, you know, some other things like narrow door or large door, whatever. What does this mean? So according to Wowhead, they're claiming, well, why is this on the classic PTR? The logic is, well, hiding it on the classic PTR would be harder to find. Now, they did end up finding it anyways. I don't know what they were expecting, but that could be the reason why they put it on the classic PTR. The other is, they never said housing was going to stick to retail only, and I think that'd be a huge deal for classic players.
Oh my god, I would totally play classic if that was the case.
Yeah, especially if they, I wouldn't say had their own decorations like you see on Nixia's head there or whatever. Yeah. But the idea that like that would be where you could go get them is go play classic and go kill Onyxia, right?
Let's have it in hardcore. Let's have a house in hardcore.
We didn't even we'll do a hardcore minute in a second, Scar, because we got to talk about what happened with the guild leaders of OnlyFans.
I don't know anything about that. That's exciting.
So I don't know what happened, but we'll just touch on
find
out. But it also seems like that they're going to be similar to the fully customizable stuff like Wildstar and Final Fantasy housing. Now, Final Fantasy housing does also have unique lots that will be, you know, essentially consumed and not available afterwards. I don't think they'll do that in WoW. But there will be an edit mode, stuff like that. So, Shawnee, is this a step in the right direction? Is this going towards the expectation you had for player housing?
It sure is. And there was talk that with the edit mode and stuff that other people would be able to come in and, like, if you were like, hey, like, you want to share a house type idea, or people could come in and decorate your house for you, which would be phenomenal because Flux and I plan to have a role-playing team of us going and building people's houses for them, and they'd just be,
Wow.
I think it'd be great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Like, it really, I mean, there'll probably never be a WoW 2, but if they do player housing right, it could be, in my opinion, if they do it right, and the way I think they should, it could probably be the biggest thing in WoW, like, in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I know Scrap loves dragon riding. It would dwarf dragon riding.
Oh, yeah.
It would. I don't know what I would consider it akin to. Maybe when they put in like LFR raids and
pet battles,
like the group fight. No, way bigger.
Pet battles. Way bigger than that.
I
think it'll be about the same.
If they do it right, I think it could be huge. You know, so I'm hoping they do it right. But yeah, I'm excited. Anything house related with this, anytime they have news about it, I'm like, I can't wait to read it, see it, watch 18 different YouTube videos, people saying the exact same thing on it. Yeah.
We're already 1 month into the new year, so that means we're 1 month closer to finally seeing it in our, you know, in action.
Yeah.
That I think so. Scrap. I scoffed at your idea, but yes, you're right. Like adding pet battles, while maybe not necessarily as groundbreaking, was effectively taking Pokemon and adding it into WoW.
Yeah, this is putting Animal Crossing into it.
Exactly.
So.
And if you remember the craze, now granted this was in the height of COVID, so maybe that was part of it, but like the craze of Animal Crossing was such a huge deal back 2020 or whatever. That imagine the life that this could breathe into.
Dude, imagine if I could go fishing, put fish on my wall, like from certain areas. And
so
stuff.
I think that might
be, if they really incorporate everything, that would be crazy.
That might be the reason why we saw such a long delay. They've probably been working on this for a long time.
I won't ever give them credit for stuff they haven't done yet. Like saying like,
sure.
Yeah, I know you won't. I remember them saying just because they didn't talk about something doesn't mean they haven't been working on something.
Yeah.
And they're like, we've been hearing about player housing for a long time, and we're not going to say how long we've been working on it, but like it's definitely always been something they've tried to figure out, and I think now they've figured it out more.
Well, something I really appreciate about this game is that they're always trying to kind of like make it more of a game, and like, you know, like we get the core of it is the collaborative like raiding and dungeoning, and I think that's always going to be the core, but the fact that they go into like pet battles, and that was like a whole different thing that you can do, and the dragon racing, and now we can play Mario Kart and stuff like that. There's all kinds of fun things they do, and I like that they're continuing to branch out and try to make it all, bring in stuff from all these different games and say like, you need to live in this game, pay the $15 sub, you get to play this game because it's got everything in it. Like, that's sick. I'm down with that. So they can't half-ass this one. It'll break me. It'll break Shawnee more.
I can tell you now, if they, player housing being horrible would be what makes me unsub.
What if it's like warband screen, dude?
If it is like, I love WoW, but I find myself at times like, I don't know, and it's like a lot of times it's you guys that keep me around, but player housing 100% is keeping me around, and if they just shit the bed on it,
you're quitting your day job.
If they, I'll go. So funny side
decorator
note,
streamer.
Dude, that's your new angle, Shawnee.
Yeah.
When they brought out WoD, and everyone hated the garrison, I love that thing, and I was just
garrison.
I was like I was just starting. I just got done my piercing apprenticeship, so it wasn't that busy with work, and I would sit at work and play WoW all day. And player housing has the if it's how I want it to be, it definitely has the ability to make me be like, I don't need to sleep anymore.
Yeah.
So,
well,
but if it sucks, it will ruin it.
I think this is a step in the right direction. It makes me feel more confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ask you, where's your dream home? I don't know if we ever asked you that.
Silver Moon.
Oh, okay. You're
Silver
Moon.
Like
okay.
Fancy. Yeah. He's gonna have the opulent style.
Yep.
Yeah. Big blood elf guy. So definitely where I'm putting it.
Okay. You ready for the New Year's resolution of being more toxic, Scrap?
From me? Yeah.
No, for me. For me.
Oh, from you. Yeah. I was gonna say, that is you. You said that.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's talk. So this was something that was introduced to me in our comments on YouTube. Okay. It's called WoWops. Okay.
And wait, what did the person say? They're like, "Hey, you seem super toxic to your friends. Do you want this thing?"
No. I think they're actually referencing the TDV. So for those who don't know the total dungeon value, we came up with this system, and they said, "Hey, you should check this out. This is kind of the same thing."
What you're talking about?
All right. So it's an add-on that you can download and install on your WoW. We're gonna take a look at it in just a second in game. But it sounds like, all right. So how it works? I'm gonna read this really quickly. WoWops collects and analyzes data from the completed Mythic Plus runs across all regions. Our sophisticated algorithms process this information to provide meaningful insights about player performance, team strategies, and dungeon mechanics. We focus on the metrics that matter most: damage and healing patterns throughout the dungeon, defensive cooldown usage and survival rates, interrupts, coordination and timing, movement efficiency and positioning, successful route planning and execution, team composition synergies, performance across different axes, and trend analysis and improvement tracking. Okay? So
before you go on, I like all their points. I don't like team composition synergy as a point. But anyway, keep going.
Well, and maybe I agree with you that might be a bad thing, but I get it. Like, we'll worry about that in a second. So the scoring system is designed to be intuitive and meaningful. A 50 score, so it goes like, I think 0 to 100. Represents that this is an average player performance. This is perfectly fine. This is where most players will find themselves, and it should be happy, right? And of course, anything above a 50 is above average performance. And you'll see in a second, they have it like broken down into multiple categories. But there's also, you can't see this on the podcast. I apologize. I can't get it to scroll down far enough for you, but there's also player karma system. Our karma system allows players to recognize and appreciate others they've played with in Mythic Plus dungeons. Unlike the scoring system, karma is a simple way to acknowledge positive player interactions and helpful teammates. How it works: players can upvote the others they've competed Mythic Plus dungeons with. Each player can only have one active vote per character. Karma counts are displayed on the player profiles in the game via our add-on, and votes are tracked for 60 days to keep the system current, so I guess they fall off. You need to be logged in and have your character synced to vote, and karma represents community recognition separate from performance metrics.
Wait, so can I give you negative karma points every time I do a dungeon with you, Frank?
No. So I think what they're saying is they only want it to be positive, right? and it's like a you know, there's a voting and it like says, okay, this person has earned the point. Okay. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. I'm not so much worried about that. Here's the breakdown of the rating system, okay? So they have brackets from 8 to 11, 12 to 13, and 14 to 15, okay? And they consider 8 to 11 the entry level competitive, mid-tier competitive for 12 to 13, and high-end requiring strong coordination and execution, okay? The weighting, and I don't know like if this is like a, not percentage-based, but I guess
looks a lot like our chart where your damage is weighted, interrupts is weighted.
So
what is heavy? What does it say?
Heavy fails. What? Essentially,
like if you die,
unnecessary damage. I think, right?
Man, they probably can't calculate butt pulling.
Like, you know, well, no, but
no reindeer.
This is just. I think this is just them getting started, right?
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
So damage output is weighted. I think the most. Not the most.
That's good. That's good for me.
Interrupts. I can't wait to show you this. Yeah, not good for you.
Not good for me.
Heavy fails are pretty heavy, right? But again, each one has their own category, which is good, okay? And I'm sure they'll continue to tweak it because, again, this is news. So heavy fails. This is our highest weighted metric because avoiding unnecessary damage is crucial for all roles. Heavy fails include deaths from avoidable mechanics, standing in dangerous ground effects, or failing key dungeon mechanics, all right? You can see an example of what we consider heavy fails by visiting our Arcana dungeon page. So here, let's open that real quick. And you will see... These are the important abilities. So heavy fails listed as if I
get hit by the burrowing charge. Okay, that checks out.
So like ceaseless swarm, right? So they leave like if you're standing in the swirl, I guess is
I can put it on you though. I can make you incur a heavy fail.
Reindeer games can exist in this system, okay? Don't worry.
You're giving me a roadmap of how to tank your score.
All I see when I see this is like if we were to quit our day job and become TDV like enthusiast.
I don't think this makes much money, Frank.
No, I know it doesn't, but this is what I'd want to build, right? Like I'm so happy to see this.
No, this is gorgeous.
So there's interrupts. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Deaths is explanatory. So damage output, while important, we weight damage differently for each role. DPS 5 points are primarily responsible for damage output. Tank 3 points, meaningful damage, while healers 1 point are expected to deal damage when healing is necessary.
Really interesting that deaths is only for tanks. Like it's assuming that deaths are can only be the tank's fault.
Well, because I think they don't fall, like the heavy fails are where you'd see that for.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay, anyway, so getting your runs analyzed to have runs appear on WoW OP. At least one player in your group needs to run the log. Okay, that's fine. And after you run the log, just log it to warcraftlogs.com. Okay.
We're gonna do this right after the podcast, yeah?
We're doing it right now.
No. Doing a key?
No. It's already done. It's already done. Okay.
Wait, you can't. What key did you pick?
No, I'm just picking you. I'm picking you.
Uh-oh.
All right, so I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna put the game on. Now I've set it up so that
you better not have picked through. Just pull the last key that I did with you.
Let me see if I got it pulled up. It's loading.
The last key.
No, scrap. It doesn't do it by key. It just gives you a score.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
Uh-oh.
1 second, let it load.
Oh, for my whole career? Gives me a score?
Yeah.
I don't like this. I'm scared. This is like a social credit score.
Now you can't see it. Why is this not capturing? There it is. Okay. You can't see it, okay? I'm going to read it out to you. All right?
Oh, God.
Who would like to go first?
I want to see it. How do I know
I can't. No, because I'm recording. I can't. It's just
I'll take it, but I want to see it.
I'll screenshot it for you, okay? Can I just
screenshot it?
For the sake of the podcast, I can't like break the whole database. Okay. Yeah. All right. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay. So Braylene. All right. Here is your score. Okay.
I can't see it, Frank.
I know. I'm reading it to you. All right.
Just kidding.
So
I took the low-hanging fruit.
I'm going to give you your overall score first.
Okay.
51.3.
Is that a good score?
It is slightly above average. Okay.
Above average, yeah.
Slightly above.
Way to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're doing great, Scrap.
Your heavy fails. I'm going to move this other way. Sorry. Your heavy fails. So do you think you do well or poorly in it?
Bad. Because this is all my keys, not just the ones where I'm locked in.
Well, they do give you a score. They do give you a score for your lower bracket and higher bracket too.
Okay.
Okay. So heavy fails. You score actually pretty well. You're a 70.3. So you're in the higher.
Oh, hell yeah.
You're in the, the what is that? The 70th percentile. Okay.
Oh,
that's hard to believe, but good for you.
Hard to believe. Okay.
Interrupts. Where do you think you land?
Very low.
34th percentile.
Yeah, extremely low.
All right. Damage. Where do you think you land?
Probably averagey.
44th percentile.
Low?
So a little
Whoa,
below
suck.
average.
Tough.
A little below
Yeah.
average, okay?
That's tough.
You are in the 8 to 11 bracket, you have a score of 66th percentile.
Okay.
But in the 12
yeah.
to 13 bracket, you are
Yeah.
a 47th percentile.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, who wants to go next?
Let's see you.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Scraps instantly like, I only
No.
care what Frank.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to know.
Did I misspell it?
He's not even,
Okay,
he doesn't even
okay.
have a score. It's
All
so
right.
low.
Could have seen knows
So-
my name.
Okay, so you scored a 51, okay?
51, yeah.
My score
Yeah.
for Arcane,
Okay.
67.5th percentile.
Oh,
that
that's
guy
very
go.
nice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Now, I want to, before I say the next one, based on
Yeah.
how E-Team talks about me and my damage taking and mitigation, right? Where do you think I land on heavy fails?
Well, Frank, they don't count your deaths as heavy fails, so
They do count. They do count it. Anytime I die to something like that, it's a heavy fail.
Oh,
Where
okay.
did Scrap land?
Scrap was
70 something.
on heavy fail. She was a 70.3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like 77. Just
No, Frank's like an 84. Like
You
to the
think so?
good. Yeah.
What do you
You
think?
guys
Scrap?
all hate on
it
he says
sounds like it's
18,
gonna
but
be. It sounds like it's gonna be higher than we would expect.
I
Yeah.
expect it to be great. You guys all like he says E-Team hates on him. I always get lumped into all
No,
your
I know.
guys'
Shawnee,
shenanigans.
you're lumped into everything.
But like no,
Scrap.
I think he's in the high 80s.
Scrap.
If she's
I'll
in
give
the
you
70s.
80s. I'll give you 80s. Yeah.
81.6.
81.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm going to hold on to that number for dear life next
Hey,
time
that's
I
not
want to
much
strangle
higher
someone.
than mine, Frank.
It is. You're considered a blue, so you're like
Yeah.
rare. I'm epic. So
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
interrupts.
High.
No, I'm not that high actually.
Really?
I'm
Yeah.
45 percentile.
Okay.
Okay.
Damage. So Scrap, you were 44 percentile.
Yeah. I think you're probably high because the problem is it's against other arcane mages,
Yeah,
right?
it is against other arcane mages.
Yeah, that's that's. I think you'll be high on it then.
Yeah, it's 69th percentile.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
In the 8 to 11 bracket, I'm an 84th percentile. In the 12 to 13, I'm
Yeah.
a 62nd percentile. All right,
Okay.
who's next?
I'll go last.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go. Save
Yeah.
the best for last.
Yeah, let's see the healer
Oh, I'll
because
be
he's
the
the healer.
worst.
It's different.
Why is it? I literally feel like I do it.
When they get
Oh,
to
it's
mine,
okay.
you'll be like, "Thank God he went last."
You have
better
you have two profiles because you play Ret and Holy. Okay.
No, let's do the holy because I want to
Okay.
see
I'm
what
gonna ignore the
metric
Ret.
he's being
You can see it on screen
judged
later
by.
if you want. I ask you, but
Yeah.
okay. Holy. Okay, so there's healing as well in this. Okay, so where do you feel you land on heavy fails? Just to repeat again, Scrap was a 70.3. I was an 81.6.
So the higher is the better. I'm gonna say probably. I'd say probably close to Scrap's level.
It is 68 percentile.
Yep.
So
Oh,
she was 70th. Healing. Now again, this is against other holy paladins.
I'm gonna guess like 80s.
Anyone else want to take a guess?
You know what?
I don't know anything about healing, so
I'm
I
gonna
can't
say
guess.
mid 70s
Okay.
to 80, mid 80s, that range.
63rd and a half percentile.
I suck.
I don't care
Interrupts.
what this
Average,
game says.
Yeah.
I think you're
Interrupts.
great.
Interrupts. I'm gonna say pretty low.
Okay, well, you were actually the 61 percentile.
Ooh.
Oh, he's the
nice.
highest.
Damage.
Sometimes we overlap interrupts, so I'm always like, oh,
Yeah,
I don't know who that
yeah.
was.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say damage is gonna be decently high. I'm gonna say like 70s.
81.7.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
In a bracket of 8 to 11, you're
Wait.
76 percentile, and in the bracket of 12 to
Nice.
13, you are 50.1. So literally right on the average. Quit
Right.
being
I know.
average, I ask you.
I know,
Damn
just
it.
so you know, Frank's gonna yell at you to focus on your job and heal more and damage less.
I have no
Yeah.
problem with people damaging us. I'm not getting into this again.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I didn't do it. Hold on, wait.
My
Look up.
answer to everything is in like
I
the
haven't
30
looked
to
at this,
40
Shawnee, so I'm
range.
sorry if it's good or bad. Okay.
I don't care.
Why?
I'm
He's
gonna
already
say
apologizing to you. Why do you think it's gonna be bad?
because I'm worried that Shawnee's worried that's gonna be bad.
no, I don't care,
Oh,
dude. I have
God.
so much fun. I'm in the 30.
God.
Look, I'm against Ret Pallies. I'm in the 30. I'm like 30th percentile.
It is
Yeah,
it is a large
Okay.
sample size.
Yeah.
Shawnee, for retribution.
Yes.
When it comes to heavy fails,
I'm up there, bro.
Father.
You think you take a lot of damage, or are you saying you're good at it?
I take a lot.
Okay, so where do you land yourself?
Oh, like I'm serious. I think I'm in the like the 30% for everything.
73rd.8.
There you go. You don't count yourself.
I believe this because, like I told you many times, I don't think you ever are the one that's dying in a dungeon with us, right? Like it's us that are the donkeys.
Yeah.
Interrupts. Where do you think you land?
I'm like I said, I'm not gonna toot any horns here. I'm like 30s.
22
across the board.
22.
Yeah. Yep, and I think that's because you get so fed up with Scrap saying she's going to interrupt
something.
That's
worse than mine.
I will say that.
Wait, is it worse than yours? Hold on.
I don't remember.
Wait, has it count interrupts? I want to know.
It doesn't count pops, probably.
No, it looks at spells that are like important interrupt, and it'll give you points for that.
I will say, typically when we play together, I am the last interrupt because you're
doing the fillers. You're getting all the fillers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm usually on the end, but yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah, I interrupt. If you want me to interrupt, I'll interrupt. But
only in 5% of our keys do we call kicks. So
in the damage category, what?
Oh, not that high. Like 42.
42. Scrap.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that? I guess.
I don't know.
I'm gonna guess maybe 60s.
34.
Mine's just like 60s.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In the 8 to 11 bracket. Actually, no. What do you? Sorry, I didn't give you your overall score. What do you think you rank on overall rep? Now, I will say, Shawnee.
Well, we heard of the averages. He'll be around 50%.
Well, I mean, there's tons of rep pallies out there, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm below average.
You are at the 46th percentile.
Yeah,
so
I'm on the
very slightly below.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm on a podcast for the other 99%.
You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you're supposed to be average.
Now, I say all this. So, Scrap, we've talked about redefining TDV. Okay.
Yeah.
I still think we should do that, but this would save me a lot of time if I didn't have to do the spreadsheet. Do we want to make a competition out of this?
Yeah, but I'm totally fine with not winning.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
The problem is, I have this problem. When I lock in for a key, I'm pretty well and locked in, but I would say 80% of my keys I do not lock in. I'm silly. I'm, doing stuff. I want to be able to pick what's being graded,
Like, look, I was thinking about this earlier because I really disliked how my last suggestion got turned into like the worst thing ever that we've done.
What, that Elon should be shot to the moon?
No, that we should.
You said that, Johnny?
I mean, he has something to do with spaceships, so why not?
Fucking Trudeau fan.
You know what?
I don't even know really who that is. So
I mean, I heard of the guy, but I think he plays hockey.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think I would like us to try something as a group collectively more than a competition of like if we took all the like donkey tier and made like a 5-person team and see how high we could push it together to be like, oh, these aren't donkeys, it's just the people playing them. That would be more fun than a competition.
I maybe I'm short-sighted, but I can't see a competition of this doing anything but making us better players. Like,
well, you would hope it would, but I think
I know I can't envision.
People won't care.
Oh yeah, I won't care.
I know. If you don't care, you're not going to try.
But if Frank is really up and up about this, he's like, I really want to be better at this. I mean, that's going to only help my keys get timed. Yeah, but TDV was fucked, dude. It was no good.
No, the problem with TDV is you guys were like, reindeer games, I can take so many points away from you.
Frank,
Shawnee,
so we should see if I can tank your TDV next. If I can figure out. I'm gonna pour over this document and see what all the fail damages are, and I'm gonna exclusively anytime we're in a key, I'm gonna fuck your score, dude. I'm gonna destroy it.
I would think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're right. I always have fun doing that. I think that when the collaborative game is competitive, that's the best for me. But there's something wrong with me.
One last thing about this though is you can post people's scores. In a group.
God.
So if I were to walk in a group, every time we start one, I'm just gonna post the scores and say, "Yep, Scrap's still shit."
This is literally like built for your fucking villain era.
So good. Chef's
you're
kiss.
fucking auditing villain era.
The best thing about my score being horrible is if anyone ever plays with me and I do anything well, they'll be like, "He isn't near as bad as the score suggests."
He's not as bad as I thought he'd be.
We're gonna be just happy.
Yeah.
Oh God, I already closed it. I should have pulled whistle.
Don't pull whistle. Honestly, for a BM hunter,
I pulled Leo, but he was in play.
Yeah.
You should Haywire just cause.
Dude, we're gonna pull up Haywire. He's gonna be like 100 on every character he plays. I swear.
Okay, let's move on to the question of the week, which is the trial of Gingi. Okay.
Yeah.
So Scrap, you have nominated yourself to be the judge.
Yeah, because I don't know anything about this, so I'm gonna be the judge. You guys are gonna present the story to me, and I'll tell you what I think.
And Shawnee, you are the defense.
Yeah.
Ayaski, you are the prosecution, and I will retain my role as bailiff. So let's set the stage for the judge. Scrap, on Saturday, I believe, of last week.
Is there visual with this, or
there is? There will be in a second.
Okay.
On Saturday of last week, there was the Plunderstorm Creator Battle Royale, whatever it was called. If you're not familiar with how it works, it's kind of like a checkmate system, but it's not truly one. What happens is I think you play 3 rounds and earn points based on how you perform in each of those 3 games. And as the 4th round, anyone that is within, like if you're at the top of it, so anyone in the top 1 of 20, if you win the next game, you win overall. And if you don't, then it drops to like the next 3, so the top 3, if they win, they get to win. And then it drops down to the top 10, right? So if you're in the top 10, you win the whole thing. Okay. I don't know, Shawnee and I ask, you may not know either, but I don't know at what point they were in that, but they were in an elimination where if one of these teams won, they'd win it all. Okay. So the second place team and the first place team were left standing, and it was a
9-game tournament, and they were in past game. I think they were in game 5 or 6. I think.
Yeah, something like
that. I remember correctly.
Not necessary for all you need to know is the last 2 people, I think, if they had won, would have swayed it one way or the other. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna play the scene from the WoW broadcast. Scrap. You have not seen this, correct?
No, I've not seen it. And can you tell me who's who and what to look for?
I will recap it. You'll see it very quickly what's going on. Okay.
Okay. Let me see.
So I'm submitting as Exhibit A the WoW broadcast from their stream.
This is the most ratty final we've ever seen. Ness is gonna die to the storm.
Dodge!
He's waiting out for another barrage.
Oh, he's just
Gingi's gonna use another barrage.
How is this even happening? No one's touching Gingi. The lightning's not touching. Mez is fighting for
he has no ability. He has no ability to actually get up there using the health brew on cooldown now. And Gingi doesn't have to do anything. He's waiting for the barrage. Barrage is ready again in 1 second. He could finish Mez out.
Here it goes.
That one. Barrage is going in, and that might be it.
That could very well be the end of the game. Not like this. Mez doing everything they can to stay alive, max level. But there's just no.
And the barrage is coming in once again. Oh my goodness.
I'm not. Mez is a god for being able to stay alive.
Yeah, Mez. If anything, this is unbelievable,
bro.
Wow.
Not like this, Gingi. You rat! I love this!
The rattiest of wins. Yar, she blows.
So, what happened, Scrap, to understand is that in what's a popular thing to do is to use the leap pad, the
to get up to a weird spot.
Yeah, to leap pad up onto roofs and heal yourself when you're in a precarious situation. Okay.
Yeah.
So Gingi leapt onto the top of that tower. He actually, you don't see it on the stream, but he actually fought someone up there before. So someone was already up there.
Somebody else was trying to rat up there already.
Yep. And of course, I don't believe they know where the final circles are going to end. However, it was impressed upon me at some point or another, I can't remember where I heard it, that they were somewhat aware of where the final circle would have ended, because they kind of can see where it starts and go, okay, I know
when you see where one starts going, you can kind of guess, right?
Well, yeah, but I think
go there at the beginning of the game.
I think they know the pattern well enough that once they see like the pattern 2 or 3 times, they go, okay, I know where it's going to end, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not saying that's certain, but I think like that's the impression I was given. Okay.
I think you also make an educated guess of like, oh, it's on this side of the map. Oh, I can probably use this tower or that tower, and
now,
make a gamble.
It should be noted that there was a $25,000 prize purse.
Oh, wow.
Okay? I think it was $25,000. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So the charge is levied, and we'll open with arguments here in just a second. Is Gingi, while being a rat, is relevant, is he allowed to keep his winnings and his title, or should he vacate them along with his prize? Whether it be to someone else or to just no one at all is another story, okay? So, Ioski, you're the prosecution. You are looking to charge Gingi with dropping his win and losing his money. I will allow you to start with your opening argument.
Okay, so set the scene for you. Create a Royale 2, really big event, lots of different creators, lots of viewers. The integrity of World of Warcraft is on the line as people are watching these teams go head to head in all these different games, and we come down to the final two, and it couldn't have been a bigger moment, and just to see what these people can do, and it just ended really disappointedly. And people mention how, oh, it's an exploit, Blizzard knew about it, there's nothing wrong with it. No, it's absolutely something wrong with it. It's competitive integrity, it's a tournament, it's something somebody knew wouldn't
Johnny's
be
already
able
worked up.
it's something he knew that it would be no consequence. He basically went to a place where he knew the other person couldn't get, with money on the line, and he said, you know what, severed strands for the raid, I'll cheat in that, I'm gonna cheat in this too. And there's a reason they got banned before Race to World First, and they're just over here doing it again. Just can't play fair.
Can I ask for a clarification? Is you're saying Gingi is one of the people who got the timeout for the World First that we talked about a couple months ago?
He's gotten some trouble on Classic as well, I think.
What a king, dude. Not to show my hand.
Objection, Your Honor. Bias.
No, I'm Your Honor. Gavel. I need the gavel.
He turned off his OnlyFans add-on. He's clearly not honest. And
sorry, continue.
But yeah, no, it's just a scummy way to win a big event, especially with money on the line. Thank God it wasn't for charity. Could you imagine? Poor
some
kids.
other charity. Over some
he
other.
would give it to his charity, presumably, so it would be fine.
But yeah, that's.
Wait.
Hold on, Scrap. Let them make their openings, and then you can start.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who are you?
He's saying that he should vacate the prize.
He should vacate the prize because he did something he knew was an exploit. He is putting the integrity of Blizzard and any competitive esport event they do in the future into question.
Shawnee's bursting at the seams. You better wrap it up.
Yep. Okay, wrap it up.
So I'm just laughing at the nonsense.
You're badgering the testimony. Move on.
People are going to wonder why we don't sound like lawyers in here. No one ever brings up badgering the testimony.
Yeah, I came up with it myself.
I'm going to Google that in a second.
The next time they do something like this, people are going to be looking at with one of their eyes closed, like, what's going on here? Is this going to be ended the same way? Hopefully something gets done about this. I'm done.
Okay. Stop filibustering.
Opening arguments for the defense.
So in Gingi's defense, this is a as supposed to work mechanic in the game, because in the previous tournament, people cheered as a team found a basement to hide in, and they won, and everyone thought it was and they won that round, and everyone thought it was amazing and cheered them on and had no problem whatsoever with it.
Viewer context, that was Nagura's team.
Yeah, I don't.
Everybody loves Nagy, though.
Your girl Nagura. She was given the props because it was funny, but she was not being taken seriously as a victor.
Hold on, bailiff, an objection. Let's hear it.
Well, I want to give context to that, but anyways.
Yeah.
There's no objection open statement.
There is.
Gamer girls to a different standard than we hold gamer
Nagura is a beloved icon by Scrap, so we cannot slander her.
Either which way.
I don't know who Nagy
slandering
is.
anyone. I'm simply stating that in the creators content tournament, it's happened before that people have used things to hide from the storm and not die to it. This is a known mechanic that Blizzard could have fixed by this time, and they didn't because it's working as intended. And someone else was on the roof, so everyone is eligible to go on the roof. And just because they didn't get the proper item to get on the roof, is it Gingi's fault that someone else didn't get a random item also? It's not his fault. He went up there, he got up there, it's safe. It is a known mechanic in the game, as it's already been stated, that people go up on roofs to heal. Is it his fault that Blizzard made a game that doesn't completely close in like all the other games? No. It's not his fault. He simply took advantage. And so what? People take advantage all the time.
Yeah.
And integrity of WoW is a hilarious statement in itself. This is a for fun creators tournament. This isn't MDI or anything else that really matters within WoW. This is a bunch of streamers trying to get more streams, more money from their streams. There's no integrity to this. If there was integrity, they wouldn't be doing it.
Hold on, let me hear the objection.
If it's for fun, why is there $25,000 attached to it?
Only way you're going to get these people to do anything is give them money in the first place. That's the only reason they do PTRs, because they got given it for free.
It's advertising.
I'm gonna overrule
revenue.
that one.
It's advertising revenue.
I don't think it's relevant, that objection.
Yeah, you're irrelevant.
You're irrelevant. You're holding contempt.
He simply used something that everyone in the game is able to use, and they didn't, and they're upset.
They actively used it. I mean, we already talked about the person being up there. And I would point out that Max, who was, I think, third, and would have also won had he won, said that they had not only done something like that earlier, where they jumped on a roof and healed, but any one of them would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I don't know who I'm leveling this, I guess to the bailiff, because you're like the lore master. Were any other games won in this fashion in this tournament?
I don't know
like
about in this tournament,
ones?
but they have been done like this.
Why?
I would like to point out also, the tournament itself is not played as a proper, whatever you call it, because it should have been won. It should have been won
checkmate.
In the checkmate. It should have been checkmated, like a proper checkmate is done in other battle royals. In the third round, it should have been over. So it's already, integrity. It's not even a proper checkmate. So what's it matter? They're just literally having fun.
I'm going to end your opening statement because you've gone on long enough. But you did.
Yeah,
you did hit my soft spot of working as intended. I love
Your
that
Honor,
shit.
Your Honor, stop giving insight into your verdict before you give it. You're supposed to just nod around and say, interesting.
Ew, interesting. Well, okay, I'm trying to remember how I did this last week.
Mistrial.
This would be mistrial within a millisecond.
I determine who's a mistrial. Everybody, order in my court.
Oh my God, she's drunk with power.
Find my gavel. So how did we do it last time? I think
now cross-examination. Cross-examination. You can ask him whatever you want. You can ask me whatever you want. Get to a point where you think you have an opinion, and then we'll do our closing arguments.
I'll ask Io first. What should I ask?
So here's the thing, right? There is a $25,000 prize purse attached to it, right?
Yeah.
More than that, because I think like if you get in second, you get more or whatever. But that is effectively an advertising budget for what they're getting out of Twitch and what they're getting out of having the content creators coming out, right?
One thing I wanted to ask, actually, Io, was when Gingi accepted the prize, was he a dickhead about it?
Well, he was in person. You see him on stream.
Did they interview him or anything?
No. Well, maybe, but you see him on stream, he's pumping his fists and going, yeah, he's super pumped about it.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Your Honor, I didn't see the stream of him pumping his fist, but if you just look at him standing there like a little rat on the roof, just like, haha, look at you, you can't do anything about this. I think that gives enough context for what kind of person he is.
Is he the green shirt guy or the hoodie guy?
He's the one on the left.
Yeah, that's the guy I thought it would
be.
Yeah, okay,
Objection. He wasn't. It wasn't like he was the only person that even got to that roof. He fought for that roof. And he took that roof.
Objection.
So should he not be proud that he is on the roof?
Let's hear the objection.
Is there a video proof of anyone else being on the roof?
Yes, there is. 100%.
Well, then I'll shut up.
Okay, overruled on that one. I'll sustain yours,
Withdraw.
Withdraw, yeah. Interesting. Okay, I will say, have either of them made statements about this? Is Mira's pissy about it?
I will add to this.
No, Mira's one. Mira's one. It was Mix or whatever his name was. Hold on, I have it right here.
Oh, sorry. Was the guy who played like a god? Was he pissy about it? Was he upset? Did you say this wasn't fair?
There was one comment made that Mez. Someone did. I think one of the people was it Peekaboo that made a comment because he was one of the teams that didn't win. Something like GG. But it was like a sarcastic, he's a little sour he didn't win. Like, anybody who loses is going to be a little sour.
Right.
But, if he could have got up on that roof, I'm sure he would have too, but he couldn't. I'm
kind of leaning in that direction. Io, do you have any,
this is what I posed.
Giving your verdict away.
This is what I want to say about
okay, go on.
In a game that gives random But in a game that gives you random drops, are you going to be
RNG
like at the end of it, like, yeah, are you going to be like, oh god, I didn't get the awesome, cool big circle in the tornado, so it's not fair that I didn't win because I didn't have these better things? It's RNG. You get up on the roof, get over it. Like,
I have a question in the general for the bailiff and stuff that may sway my verdict hugely. What was Asmongold's take on this? I do not want to be on that.
I don't have that I'm afraid, Your Honor.
Okay.
But I will. So here's the thing. I don't think this is really any of the creators are upset about it. Okay.
Yeah. So why are
they're
we
upset
even
about
having
losing
a trial?
money. Because the
the
fans,
WoW community,
the fans are
the
really upset
fans
about
are
it.
putting them on trial,
and part of them are upset that Gingi did this, and they're like, well, how could? But again, all the other creators are coming to the defense saying like, we would have done the same thing, right? And in fact, someone else did the same thing earlier, right in front of them.
I think if there's anyone whose opinion you can really trust, it's WoW players and WoW fans. They
speculative,
are
Your Honor.
Right.
He's right. No, he's speculating in the right direction.
So
I will say, as we talked earlier in the podcast, we've already decided that WoW players are the most nasty, dirty, hate everything people for no good reason.
Well, let me pose to you, Shawnee, a point. Is that she called him a rat? Don't you think he's like a hero of the community? Like he represents the community of rats. He's the rat king.
I mean, if I fought for my place on that roof, I would stand on it triumphantly also.
That's a good point. Io, if you were faced in the same dilemma and you had an option to get on the roof, would you take it? Or would you be what would you do?
Knowing that the storm doesn't hit the roof, I would say to myself, this isn't how this is supposed to work. I'm gonna be the bigger person. I'm gonna put my $25,000 on the line, my guaranteed $25,000 to make sure this ends the way it should, because that's what the WoW fan deserves.
So
okay. you would be the guy doing the badass moves down on the ground. I believe you.
No, I'd be the guy dying in like the first 2 seconds.
That's me too.
Hold on. Couple things.
Okay,
first off, I ask you missed a perfect layup of an opportunity to shout back, Your Honor, I'm not on trial right now, and yet you answered a dumb question. Second, it should be pointed out that Mez, or whatever his name is, was really low health already. And so if he had jumped down and finished him off, do you think that would have been sufficient enough for everyone to be happy?
I think it would have been.
I'm not gonna speculate on what ifs.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's not on trial right now.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I'm just asking your opinions. This is outside the trial. Your opinions.
Okay, off the record.
Yeah, off the record. Strike that from the record, Your Honor.
Strike it. Say your thing, and we'll strike it off the record. What's your actual opinion?
That I don't think this is really that big a deal. Like it just seems like it's something that nobody really cared about except people that were watching. And if
the same
everyone
people we talk about always getting upset about everything.
If everyone in the contest was okay with it, then who cares? Like clearly they were joking about it when watching on the stream. She's like, oh haha, he's a rat. Like clearly it wasn't a big thing.
She said he's a rat affectionate. Like,
and props to that other dude for staying alive in the storm that long. That was pretty sick.
Which, by the way, I think you said it was Nagura, by the way.
Oh, I don't that shows you I don't even know who she is.
I think it's hilarious for
Hyder herself.
When you think of this, the average WoW player, if they find out there's some kind of skip or trick to get around stuff, they will use it to their advantage.
And apparently, Gingi has a history of this.
So, I mean,
he's a criminal record.
WoW players have a history of being like, we can exploit this, let's exploit it.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that they're getting mad that he's exploiting something is merely he's exploiting it and they're not. And is it even an exploit if they already know there's problems where the lightning doesn't hit in basements and other places? Like, they don't. It's Plunderstorm. It's not even a real game. Like, it is
hold on.
an add-on.
I'm gonna stop you there. Objection from the judge.
I know you love Plunderstorm.
$25,000 is real money, even if Plunderstorm's not a real game, right?
Yeah. No, 100% it's real money, but
Blizzard
they're all streaming.
Blizzard in the past is also like, I think there was a bug in Darkheart Thicket in the MDI or GPT, and they specifically came out and told teams, you do not abuse this or you will get disqualified. If something like this was that much of a concern for them, I think they would have came out and did the exact same thing. They would have said, do not utilize this exploit or we will not count your
Hold
wins.
on, are you the prosecutor to defend it? This is all back on the record now.
All right, so let's wrap it up because we're
I'm ready to hand down my verdict.
So I want to just one more point though. So like, okay, actually here, let's let your verdict go first. Okay, we're gonna skip closing arguments. I don't think we really need to get to that point.
We don't need them.
This is a speed trial. Yeah.
Yep, scrap. What is your verdict?
I'm gonna say he's innocent. He deserves $25,000, but if he was a really nice guy, he would split it with the second
or donate it, right? Like, you know.
Yeah, I would expect him, you know, like, but it seems to me like if this guy has been, you know, he was part of that world first debacle where he got things and he's like tried to take exploits in the past, that this guy, and look at his smile, he knows he's a rat and he loves it. He's like a heel, dude. We expect him to rat, it seems like. So he's just doing what he's supposed to do. And I cannot call him guilty for that.
I mean, skill-wise, he's way better than I'll ever be at this game. And if he wants to take whatever little advantages he can to do the hardest content first, I mean, if Blizzard doesn't do anything about it, then they're gonna exploit it, you know. So that's up to Blizzard to police that.
So even
I don't blame people for taking advantage of things that they think are gonna help them in.
Do you?
So even the prosecutor agrees with the defense. I think I can go ahead and put it.
Someone call for the next.
Oops, I pressed the wrong one. Here, boom. That's my verdict.
So
no jail
here's the
time.
thing. Look, this is one thing. Okay, I think Blizzard, if anything, is at fault, but I don't think they're actually at fault anyways because like they knew it was a thing. They allowed it. It's part of the gameplay. Okay, so like be mad all you want. But if like, is this an opportunity for Blizzard to say, okay, $25,000 is a drop in the bucket for them? Yeah. What if they just said, we're going to award both teams $25,000? And it would be like good PR for them, don't you think?
Yeah, but I think it might open up like more scandal. Like you said, somebody else was trying to use the roof, or maybe
but they were long dead. They were long dead, so it's relevant.
Yeah, but maybe somebody used it in a previous qualifying game that we don't know about, and then it opens up. Well, we need it's a mistrial or whatever. Or we have to do a completely new tournament.
But there would be no legal standard for that.
Well, there's no legal standard for any of it. It's a fucking kangaroo court.
I know, but I'm not talking about our court. Our court's very clearly a kangaroo. No, what I'm saying is Blizzard isn't on the hook for paying the second place team. They shouldn't. It, right? So they wouldn't be like.
It would be nice. You know what they should do is they should say, hey, like, we give this guy $25,000, do whatever he wants. How about we donate $25,000 to whatever charity you want? Then Blizzard could write it off because they're going to donate a bunch of money randomly anyway for their taxes. And then they look really good on all metrics. And this guy doesn't have to feel butthurt. He didn't get any money, but he got to donate. He looks like a good guy. Yeah. Like, and it seems like these creators now, it wasn't presented in evidence to me that either of these creators are beefing or that any big creators. I didn't hear what Asmongold's take is, so I'm assuming that nobody's upset because he's the first line of getting upset about dumbass shit. So I'm assuming this is just the community being like, and rightfully seeing somebody kind of cheated or they took like an advantage. They did something skeevy to win a bunch of money when another guy played like a fucking god and he gets nothing. Like we don't like.
I think he get like $9,000, something like that.
Okay, you got something then. Shut up.
Okay. Let's bring this episode home. Innocent.
Yeah.
It's
Jesus, scrap.
There.
What an out of context.
I closed it. I keep pressing the wrong ones.
Okay. Oh, Christ. So, that is episode 36. Fucking donkey.
Sorry.
Final thoughts, Shawnee.
Player housing. Hope it happens how I hope.
Okay, scrap.
I love seeing Shawnee in the court RP because he really comes out of his shell. He was born to be a lawyer.
He does.
Yeah, you guys get to see how Shawnee is.
He's born to argue with us. He just never chooses to do so.
No, he's born to argue with us. He just takes like actual damage from doing it.
All right, Ioski, last words.
I'm so excited for player housing. Excited for season 2. Hopefully, we get a date next week or something.
Yeah, I think we'll get a date next week. No, nothing from me.
No, nothing.
I'm just gonna say, you know what? I will say one thing. It is surprising how many people thought that we stopped doing the podcast over the holiday, despite the fact that we did warn.
Who said that?
There's a lot of comments in our YouTube saying that they thought we stopped. We are here to stay. However, I will say we are going to move to uploading on Mondays. These are recorded right now. It's a Thursday. We'll record on a Wednesday or Thursday. So there will be some lag in things.
It's Monday.
Yeah, we will maybe like if there's an emergency thing, we will do like an edit where we add things in.
Yeah, because I mean, what if Asmongold comes out with his opinion on this? Then I sound like an idiot.
Yeah, maybe.
I
don't think Asmongold's going to save you from that, Scrap.
Okay.
As a judge, keep giving your verdict in the middle of the trial.
I told you I can do the court RP, but I can't. You know, if I have an opinion, it's gonna come out.
I have a feeling that the opinions of the comments are gonna be this was even worse.
Good. We strive to make it worse each time.
Just letting you all know. Again, Tech isn't gone permanently. He just says, "Well, I'm really busy and I don't want to play WoW right now." But he says he'll be back next week to give us his shitty takes.
Yeah.
I ask you, we really appreciate you.
We have a rotating cast.
Well, and I think I ask you will probably take a more permanent role, or at the very least, until Technique decides he's 100%.
But I feel like it opens up the that we have a rotating cast. Like if I can't do a week, then IO and Tech can come in, or Shawnee can't do a week and vice versa. Like
Shawnee broadcasted from a hotel in what? Kentucky,
yeah, but I'm not gonna do that shit. So if you want
to Connecticut.
No, yes, I'm not. Fuck you. No, if you guys want to have a little boys episode, do some cigars and some
wow, that's
some fedoras.
DEI's out the window and you just go sexist.
I want to say. I was thinking about this today, and I wanted to tell you in Discord earlier, but now that I have you here, Scrap, props for being the only girl that's managed to hang on and stick it out with MDL, because...
We talked about Scrap Z was in here last week hanging out.
Yeah, but, people, they're not like you. They're not consistent. And, I just want to say props to you for putting up with everyone's crap.
In fairness, there's not really a lot of consistency past the first month.
I'm extremely disappointed that we haven't been able to keep any of the girlies, because we've had a good rotating cast of girlies, but for some reason you guys
other people in to do keys with you and they scare them off.
You scare them off. You scare them off.
Or Scrap, you're just an evil mastermind and want to be the only girl.
No, that's my New Year's resolution. Is I want more ladies in here. So if you're a lady, come in raid with us.
Yeah, ladies, hold on. I'm gonna put it. Ladies, go to mythicdungeonleague.com. There's a link there for our Discord. Girl power. What's the shine theory, right? If you shine, I shine. Let's.
No, I'm just saying. I'm a girl's girl. If you come in here, I'll help you get keys or whatever, and I'll talk shit about everybody else but you.
And our Twitch stream will be picking back up as season 2 starts picking back up. So keep an eye out for that. You can follow us at twitch.tv/MDLFrank.
Yep.
Okay, that's episode 36. We are 2 minutes. Well, probably a little more than that. We're a couple minutes before 2 hours. Shawnee, what was your prediction before this moon started?
It would hit 2 hours.
No, I thought you said it would be a short episode.
No, you guys said short episode, and I laughed.
We said it jokingly, like how we always do.
God, yeah, I thought you were serious. I'm like, oh God, there's no 2 hours or die.
Every one of you, thank you for being a viewer. Hey, you know what? I never say this, but I should, because it does help us in the algorithm. Like, subscribe, comment. It helps us.
Thank you for commenting. We do enjoy reading the comments. I have a collection of hate comments. I also enjoy those. Thank you.
She's gonna make a coffee table book of all the. Please throw everything you can. I really do. She is a brick wall. She can take any of it. All right.
Every silly insult I get, I make it my personality for like a week. So keep on coming. I love you. Goodbye.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good week. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Later.
Are we off the air?
Well, we're not stopped recording, but we are. I would.